Hello, everyone. Welcome back again. Another episode of Critical Critique. We are back, refreshed. We
Yeah.
actually have watched anime. Anime has happened.
I am employed,
Crazy, I know.
working.
Yes, the jobless behavior has ceased. We are no longer in jobless arc for Ellie. He is re-employed. You're gonna have the Dark Souls pop up, right?
Yeah.
Re-employed. Re-employed.
No,
Classic.
it is an adjustment. First week. So you know how it is in your first week. You hear a lot of things, you see not a lot of new faces, and you cannot do a single thing. You're not allowed to touch things. You're not allowed to fill forms in. You're not allowed to do things. You sit there and see how people are doing things you don't understand yet, and you're not allowed to do yet. So you're just sitting around a little bit, semi-wondering when you are able to do things, and kind of just waiting until not even really when the day's over, just when you can do an actual thing, when your signature
you're
is
just rotting. Just rotten. Yeah, just sitting there rotting away.
Yeah.
Not doing anything. Yeah.
It's kind of miserable.
So yeah, it is. Yeah, people idolize the neat life. The neat life is not great, guys. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be doing that. It's not,
this is not necessarily neat. It is your first week, your first month on the job, and you don't know anything, so nobody can trust you with anything. So you're just sitting there with nothing to do.
I see.
But it will change soon. I'm getting, last Friday, last day of the work week, I got a command from the boss that says, "Hey, figure this out." And the first thing I do is go to my new colleagues and say, "How do you figure this out?" Because hell if I know how to figure this out.
What the hell do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Anyway, they're
I'm
all
so confused. I don't know. I don't know what to do. No. What am I gonna do?
Anyway, the permissions, the authorities will come soon, and then I'll do actual work. Oh, I do want to mention one quick thing about the work, is that Naretsu, previously I was working factory, right? Factory. In between the loud machines and all that stuff. Well, there's a factory associated with this job as well, Naretsu. However, I'm suddenly in an office with meetings.
Oh no!
And
you've become the way you're in the wage cage. You're in the office, the wage cage. You're not a based laborer.
No,
you're not laboring in the factory anymore.
No,
you're moving up the capitalist ladder. You fiend.
I am now
you're going to have a job
in an office
where you do nothing and you sit at a computer and you move Excel sheets around.
I have moved Excel sheets. In fact, I have moved some Excel sheets around already. And that will be my... let's have a meeting about this system and whether or not we're going to implement that. And let's do a meeting on an upcoming decision we'll make later. All that good stuff that will come.
But yeah, no, sounds pretty good. I haven't been doing too much. I got the new phone set up, kind of. It's still a few little niggly things. I have to say, phones are fucking thin these days.
I
don't know what happened. Phones are thin because I went from my S21 that had like the smart flip cover thing. So that added a little bit of bulk when you had the flip cover flipped around the back, right? You had quite a bit of grip on that. This new one, even with my case that I got for it, it is fucking it is a very thin beast. And it makes me wonder because there's been a push for thin phones, Ali. There's been a bit of a push.
Yeah, I don't really care for thin phones.
Oh yeah, fuck Yeah, I'm on eSIM too, Goda. I had to go to my ISP and fucking get them to swap that around. I had to go to my fucking mobile because I get my mobile and my internet through the same company. So I had to go into the office and speak with a guy, and he tried to sell me a laptop, and I told him to fuck off. You know, that kind of shit. Oh yeah. I would go back to physical sim, but at this point, I don't want to fuck with it. I'm fine. You know, it's not like I'm changing my phone all that often anyway. So, it's just fucking, just, ah, ah. But no. Other than that, it's been fine. I will say, because I'm going from an S21 to a 25, right? Man, this thing runs smooth. That Snapdragon is snappy. Holy shit! You know, you got it on that adaptive 120 hertz screen, right? Man, it runs games good. Because when I was playing Azure Lane with the new island mode or whatever, or like the 3D modes, right? Like on my S21, even if I had the graphics turned all the way down, it would be a little choppy, right? It would be a little bit, that S21 was struggling, but this thing, nah, it fucking GFL2, fucking 30 FPS solid, just beautiful, fucking great. You don't have to worry about it. You run around the dorm room and it doesn't look like a fucking PS2 game anymore. We went from PS2 to PS3, right? The PS5 is the PC, right? PS5 is the PC, full graphics, right? We went to PS3 on the phone from PS2, so that's good. That's yeah, Samus to Sam's, yeah. Mm, yeah, yeah. I wanted I actually, because I've got bigger hands, right? So I actually wanted a plus model. But they basically fucking disappeared from New Zealand. So couldn't find one, and I also am disappointed because I wanted to get a 500 gig model, but they just didn't have them, and they were also way more expensive. So I ended up going for a 250, which it kind of makes this more of a side grade than a direct upgrade to the specs that I had before. I mean, I get more RAM and I get better chip, but I yeah, I prefer a bigger screen, kind of, but I've got the bigger hands, and there's also. There is on Samsung and I guess Android, there is like a double tap home button to go into one-handed mode, which is kind of helpful in some situations. Yeah, GFL2 is fat. Yeah, it's like, well, I have it set to delete story shit that I've cleared, and so it's about 30 gigs. But yeah, this is a fat game. I'm interested to see if I'll be able to fit infield because having like GFL1, Azure Lane, Neural Cloud, GFL2, right? Like I've only got like 70 gigs left on this fucking thing, so I'm gonna have to see if I can actually fit infield on it. But the only reason it is convenient to be able to play on the PC and then also be able to play on the phone, because just last night I was reading the Project Neural Cloud event thing in bed because I could bring up the story mode in bed on the phone and read it on the phone. So there's use cases for it, right? It kind of makes sense. But so far I've been pretty happy. Battery life's a little bit better because it's a brand new battery instead of a degraded 4-year-old one. Yeah, it's been quite good. Oh, you figured it out, have you? Gunsmoke begins again in 12 hours, yeah. Oh, look, it's his desktop. He's doxed himself. Oh, no. Rip. We're going to see all your porn files, Ellie. Oh, no. Your embarrassing secrets will be revealed. Oh, no. He's trying to be fancy and show off his 3D printer, but it's not doing it for him. I keep telling him he's got to do this shit like during the week, get it set up during the week, and then do it instead of. You have time when you get home. You just don't play games. No, just don't play games. Work on stream stuff. That's what it's your second job, Ellie. It's just. No. I'm just fucking with you. Don't worry. But no, it's yeah. You've been doing your 3D print, fun. Mm, mm. But yeah. I've. You're in the lewd gamer Discord. You're already in the yeah. The lewd gamer Discord for a website that no longer exists. Hey, look, there you go. There's a camera. You can see the wood walls and the wood. You can see the wood. Oh, do stop again. Uh-oh. Oh man, it is glitching out the whole stream, Ellie. It's like making the stream. Yeah, it's fucking up the whole stream. Like I can see that the foogies are not moving. No, like mine is stuck on, and yours is dead. And yeah, I think yeah, it's it's like yeah, it's doing this again. You gotta do this shit when you're not streaming. You gotta test these things out before you try and be fancy. Then this happens. It's also going at like 5 frames per second. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. We're getting back. Yeah, we're getting back. We're coming back, boys. Don't worry. It's fine. Avengers, I don't feel. Yeah, the computer's like Avengers. I don't feel so. Oh no. Yeah, we're buffering on my end. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully the stream's not too scuffed. Thanks to Ellie trying to be fucking fancy. Because yeah, we're buffering. Oh. Yeah, guys in the chat, you'll have to tell us if stream's fucking fine or not, because on my end it's like freezing and buffering. It's not having a good time. I think you're dropping a shitload of frames. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is what. Oh, we back live? Yeah. Oh, we're back. Okay, yeah, no, there we go. It's fine on my end now. I think it's better. I can see the Fugies moving properly now. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. We're back. Yeah. Yeah, audio was fine. It was just the Fugies were fucked. There we go. Now we're back. Okay. Again, play around with your toys off stream, Ellie. you and you. I'm pretty sure there is like a mode for that. There's like a test stream thing you can do. Oh fuck. But anyway, Isekai. I guess we'll talk about Isekai because
yeah, let's get off my fancy 3D printing and whatnot.
Yeah. You have found us an Isekai video. I don't think we can't hear you. You're gone.
I've become schizophrenic again. Yeah, I did see it's also my mic was suddenly muted when I saw it in chat. Chat was right, but it's odd. I didn't touch the mic mute, but it's muted me anyway.
Again, every time. your setup is like a bunch of wire. It's like, you've got those wires with that in cups, right, for like communication, and it's just like 5 of those, and they're all tangled together. And every time you try and touch something, it just causes the whole fucking thing to break.
I'm not going to deny it, but
You-
it is a more sturdy than it was before, because that was a real mess. This is way more streamlined. You wouldn't.
It's a lot better than what it used to be. Yeah, that's true. But
You wouldn't
anyway,
know.
let's
You wouldn't
talk
understand.
about so individualism in Isekai. And you were saying this was a good video.
Well,
It was
I'm
a
just
good
saying
one.
that I skimmed through it, and he mentioned Shosatsu. So all right, that's big bonus.
Oh, so
points.
that's automatically big bonus points. Yeah. Yeah, because most people can't even be fucked to do that. But yeah, so yeah, this is something about individualism. I haven't watched it. I don't know anything about what's going on. I'm gonna get the can over here because I'm. There we go. Just gonna come over here, and we're just gonna give it a good look. Okay, nice little crackerino. Ah, very nice. So, I guess we'll just jump right into it.
The Tale of Urashima Taro is a Japanese story about a young fisherman who, after saving a sea turtle being tormented by some kids, is rewarded by said turtle by being taken to the palace of the Dragon King, the Ryugyujo, deep beneath the sea. Welcomed by the palace's Princess Otohime, he spends the next couple of days partying and feasting with all the other people of the sea, but soon grows homesick and worries about the well-being of his mother. Informing the princess he wished to return to the surface, Otohime reluctantly complied and gave him a box, the Tamatobacco, and warned him to never open it. Upon returning to the surface, Taro was met by scenery he had never seen before and a place he was unfamiliar with. His home, along with his mother and everyone he ever knew, was gone. Confused about where he found himself, he asked the people around if they'd ever heard of a man by the name of Urashima Taro.
Maybe take something back, because myths about visiting other places are not isekai. Stories,
no.
secret worlds beyond the veil, in fairy realms, magical kingdoms behind trees and cupboards and real tracks and whatnot. They are different. They're, I don't know the exact term, secret worlds. I've sometimes see.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. I can get where he's going. Like, he's trying to kind of create a lineage or a look, guys. There were isekais back in the fucking 1800s.
No,
or
but isekais are different, kind of structurally, what it means.
Well, you wouldn't even have like the concept of an isekai back then, right?
You could.
This was just.
I'm not going to say that
you could.
I cannot.
Would they even have a? No, I don't even think they'd have a word for it, because again, this would just be like a story, right? A myth, a legend, so to say, right? Like, they wouldn't be like, because when we talk about isekai, we're very specifically talking about this like specific type of story that is delivered, with the lineage of shosetsu and kind of the internet culture that kind of comes around it, right? We're not like, I think that while you can talk about how we've been creating like legends and stories and that kind of thing that are they mirror each other, and they like, how many stories are inspired by Greek myth, right?
Yeah.
Or European myths, right? Like there are plenty of stories out there that can have been remixed, and King Arthur's a really good example of that, right? Like, how many different interpretations and ways of doing King Arthur have we seen?
I mean, I told this once before, but I think King Arthur is really, really funny, in that King Arthur started when I forget always, like either the Normans or what was the other one? The Normans and the.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway, there are I guess the Britons and the Normans, or whatever it was. Anyway, whatever
it was,
this one king of this group of people who came to England and conquered a bunch of people was like, hey, hey people, I found this book about this ancestor 200 years ago of my people, who was super cool and was so cool that everybody liked him. And I am of the same people as the guy that was super cool.
So I am
I
super
am a
cool,
super cool
and you
ruler
should-
and a
yeah.
super cool king. Oh, can we see the book? No. I know. I translated this book. I found this book and
Aurora
I
Borealis at this time of year in this localized entirely within your kitchen. Can I
within
see
my
it?
castle tower.
No.
No, but
Localized entirely within my castle.
yeah, no, it was. I'm remembering a little bit, but he found a book, but it was in whatever English, older English. So he retranslated it, and when asked by what do you call it? Monks? Yeah, by the monks, the cloister monks who actually are educated or not. Oh, hey, that sounds really fishy. Can we see the original book? We can translate.
No.
He said no. No, you cannot see the book that says that I am super awesome. But trust me, though, it is real.
Getting back onto this though, right?
Oh yeah, true.
I feel like, like I get what he's trying to do. I don't think he's necessarily trying to say, oh, these are like exactly the same, or there's like a direct lineage. I think what he's basically trying to kind of lay out is that these kinds of stories, right? These stranger in a new world, right?
Mhm.
Stranger gets taken to somewhere else type stories definitely have existed since the beginning of, storytelling, right?
Yeah,
But
it
he's
is
using
though,
the
of
Japanese,
course.
and he's using the Japanese as example because it ties into the fact that he's talking about Japanese, right? And again, I'm not gonna like. It's not necessarily bad, right?
Mm.
Like I'm not gonna say this is necessarily bad, but it's gonna depend on how long this drags, because
Yeah,
that's
I
gonna
just
be kind of
want
the key for me.
to know the general way. When is something isekai? And of course, there are edge cases and annoying. When people are annoying, when stupid offers are annoyingly vaguing the line, which is annoying, of course. But
Yeah.
in general, you can ask yourself the question: if the Earth blows up and the isekai is unaffected, then it's an isekai. Because in this story,
Right.
if the Earth blew up in a time that he was in the castle would have blown up as well under the sea, right?
Yeah, he hasn't technically left. Well, he hasn't finished the story yet, right? But he hasn't technically left Earth. It's
No.
kind of like different land type stuff.
No,
But let's let him cook. Let's see
we
what
could continue. I
he's
know
gonna
the
go.
story. You'll see how
Yeah,
this
well,
is.
let him cook.
Responses that vaguely record hearing tales about a guy with that same name that dove into the sea and never returned. This is when Taro finds out that around 300 years had passed while he spent a couple of days beneath the sea. Overcome with the grief of losing everything, he opens the Tama tobacco, and in an instant he rapidly ages, for what was in that box all this time was his old age. Taro, a seemingly normal person, is left in a foreign world with nothing, nobody, and is in a state where he's at his weakest. This short story would mark the very first Isekai.
No, it doesn't, because it is
He fucked it up.
Because it is a time travel secret world story.
Yeah. I mean, it is an interesting kind of idea, though. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. His old age. It's an interesting fable. But yeah, I wouldn't call it an isekai. I would not call that an isekai. It's a bit of a stretch, especially when, again, there are like other like Alice in Wonderland is a good example, right? Like there's other Lion, the Witch, the Wardrobe, right?
Harry Potter,
Narnia, yeah. There are Harry Potter maybe not, but like there are other like examples. I get that he's probably, again, he's trying to tie it into Japanese, right? Like Japanese. But I think that if he had used a European example, especially considering the fact that a lot of the like Japanese ones are inspired by those European ones, right? I think it would have probably helped his point a lot better. because they would be a lot more direct descendant than this, right?
Yeah,
Because this is definitely not.
This
not
is
a
very
descendant.
much
Yeah.
in the same world. He's just under the sea. That's the only world difference there is.
Yeah.
For a couple days
so anyway,
only.
Let's see where he's going with this. Oh look, we got bopping music. Let's go. We're in the club.
Media, more than anything, has always served to tell you some kind of story first and foremost, with its ability to take us to different worlds, letting us experience all sorts of emotions and thoughts through books, movies, and games, and when done well, completely immerses you in experiences you'd never be able to get in real life. And in comes Isekai, a genre that literally puts you in the shoes of someone else, giving you first-hand experience of their journey through a world completely different to ours. It's the next best thing to actually being transported to a fantasy world, considering there is no way you'd give up all the modern conveniences we have, like toilets. I feel like I've described Isekai a lot in my previous videos, but for those tuning in for the first time or are unfamiliar, the term Isekai literally means another world. A character from
let's pause real quick. This is the was it? Descriptive and prescriptive definitions of words, right? Descriptive is this is saying that Isekai, because it means Isekai, other world, it is prescribing what Isekai genre should be, because it has to follow the exact words of the thing, right? Otherwise, then, descriptive or prescriptive. I kind of forget which is which, but the point is, things can have a name which doesn't perfectly align with what it means. Nuretsu, I'm going to sleep together with somebody.
Right.
Are we going to then define, oh, you slept together? Because those are the words, right?
Yeah.
That is what it means, right? So
context and implications and that kind of
but sleeping together just means sex. We know that. That's the thing you say. Making love together. That's the same thing. We're not, and to then go to, but Isekai has to mean this specific thing. Well, no. Isekai is not everything that is another world. There are limitations on it. Sleeping with the fishes don't mean that you have an aquarium in your bedroom. Right? We can. These are all kind of obvious. How do you call it? Euphemisms. But I'm sure there are actual things like beamer, right? Beamer. See, the thing beams an image onto the wall, so that thing beams. And that's why that's what you use in a classroom.
But you see, we would call it a projector because it is projecting things onto a wall. You see, English is fun.
But what does project mean? What does ject mean in the olden Greek? Because we have to know. Eto mo lo projector. I mean, throw forward. So are you saying that the thing is throwing things?
It is throwing. It is throwing light at the wall. Okay, but anyway, no, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. Like when you're talking, this is kind of the problem here with the definition games, right? Is when he's just saying, "Oh, Isekai just literally means another world." It's like that's true, but there's a lot more to it than just that. There's a lot more to it than just
the word means that, but not the usage means it.
Yeah, the contextual meanings are different.
So the ball tossing game. the Olympic ball tossing games. You know, the thing where they're holding the thing in their neck and they rotate around.
Shot put. Yeah.
Those people are projectors.
Yeah, they are.
They are projectors, right? Right.
People, listen. You know what? The biggest projectors are people that are on Twitter.
Well, wait. What are they throwing, Naretsu? What are they throwing?
They're throwing their internal insecurities onto other people.
How silly
right?
of you, Naretsu. You cannot throw insecurities. They are intentional.
Look, listen, Ellie. They found a way. Okay.
Oh, damn.
All right. Anyway,
They're summoned or reincarnated to a world vastly different from ours, filled with all sorts of fancy elements like magic, dragons, elves, and video game status screens for some reason. It's a genre.
Okay, I know we just pause, but that's not very intelligent of you, my man. For some reason, maybe there is a reason.
Yeah.
You should examine. You should examine that. Like, I don't like just tossing your hands up and going, well, I mean, they add all these video game screens in, but I don't know. You know, like it's very lazy. It's a little bit lazy. I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna be a little mean.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna be a little mean. That's a little lazy. I feel like you could. There's plenty of like author interviews and author, explanations for that, right, as to why they do that. And I mean, a big one that I believe I've heard is that one, it's because they like video games and they want to adapt.
People know
video
video games. It is a good shorthand
People
for
know
a lot
video
of
games.
things.
It's an easy way to also convey information to a reader, right?
Mhm.
Because you can say, oh, this guy is really strong, or you can say, oh wow, his strength stat is 99, right? In comparison
So you can
to
have
this guy
almost
whose strength stat is like 60, right?
You can have
Like,
an
that was
almost
happening-
immediate objective power level to assign.
Yeah, like that was, and that came up a lot in Last Boss, right? When she was scanning people, and she was like, "Oh, these guys are like level 50," and I'm like, "Oh, that person's like level 100," and that guy has this and this and this, right? Like, it's an easy way to convey information in a very quick manner, because if you are familiar with video games, or even if you're not, right, like, you can understand number bigger, right? You can understand, oh, that number is bigger than this number, therefore that thing is more stronger than that thing, right? It gives you a reference point to understand what the fuck's going on.
And
right?
maybe not. I cannot even call this a defense of the status thing, but because it's so basic. Naretsu, when I introduce a knight character, right? Big knight character. This is not an isekai. This is just your medieval fiction, maybe fantastical medieval fiction. I introduced this guy as Lord Protector of the Golden Bow, Lord Dragon Slayer of the Black Scourge,
and
5 other titles. That is me describing a power level. He has like 50 titles, 10 titles. Oh, he has big energy. That other guy only has 2 titles. He is so weak.
Yeah. He's not a renowned knight of the realm.
5 squires attending. Oh, that other guy has only 1 squire. It's so easy to put power levels in any type of fiction, just with the amount of titles, the amount of attendance, the amount of the fancier weapons, the crests, the crowns, the medals in the World War II soldier, the amount of kills on your airplane.
So basically, like, there's plenty of ways to do it. It's just that, especially in modern, in the modern interpretations,
you could say
typically tends to be video games.
You could say that your video game rankings is more impressive these days. So that's what people use.
Yeah. It's updated for the modern era.
Yeah, not medals. Boring. Your gamer tag, your game score.
Your goober tag. Yeah, the goobers.
How many achievements do you have?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But
That
anyway,
really started in the 2010s following the explosions of a few titles that I'll be mentioning later. It's interesting to see how one or two IPs can literally cause a spark that makes a whole genre take off seemingly over.
Zerun Tsukaima.
man, this is dense though, because he's doing the thing where he's like, oh, these animes came out, or like these 1 or 2 titles came out, and then oh no, now it's just infinite isekai forever, right? Which is not necessarily what.
It
Yeah,
is.
because we've gone over this a lot, right? We've
Mm.
gone over this a lot. You've got your timeline that you need to maybe update for 2026.
Yeah, I updated. I haven't updated in 3 years.
Haven't gotten around to it yet. Where we've talked about how like there you can draw like direct lineages and stories, and it's not like, I think the common problem and the problem that we're critiquing here is that it's not just like, oh, suddenly there is, 20 gazillion. Oh, Sao comes out, and then there's 20 gazillion isekais. That's not usually what happens. It's like, oh, you'll have like a series come out as a light novel, and it will, get popular, and then it's like a slow, like you see it in the timeline, even the older ones that you had, right? It's like a slow burn. It's like a couple of years of nothing, and then as the genre begins to get more adapted, then you start to see, this uptick in the number of works being made in that
Yeah,
particular
because
genre,
the
right?
it isn't. It is true to say that Sword Art Online did kind of start this boom, but it wasn't necessarily an isekai boom. It was the self-published boom, which was at the time
Yeah,
and still is isekai. I
yeah,
can imagine that if any other genre was massively popular at that time, we would be having 5 years of power suit battles or
Sh-
something.
yeah, shoujo romance or something, right?
A- Anything. If Sword Art Online came out at a time when there was a different genre, we would be having these talks about another genre. Is that true?
Mm.
Maybe, but I cannot say that it was some predestined
these
isekai.
things do kind of like, and these things do kind of wax and wane too. Like, it's not like we're seeing, like right now, like I think it, like, I think about the current season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like there's a whole, like, I think there's a couple of isekais coming out this season. Like,
Yes.
the bigger hitters are not even the isekais. It's stuff like we're going to talk about later, right? Like, a lot of the bigger hitters are not even isekais. They're actually just fantasies.
Yeah.
They're actually just straight up fantasies. There's no reincarnation or otherworldly element to begin with, right? So you could argue that instead of focusing solely on the isekai angle of it, right, you could say that it, like you said, it's the self-publishing slash um general fantasy boom, right? In a sense, since a lot of isekais do tend to be fantasy
It
shows.
does. It does
Um,
lend itself to be a fantasy way more easily than others.
mm, So yeah, that's kind of yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to point out on that, because it's a very common trap to fall into, where you sort of start, I guess, laying the blame all on one thing. Like
Yeah, and
it's all Isao's fault, or it's all, this particular, show's fault or
I'm
something,
not
right?
disag-
When it's kind of like, it's not necessarily all their fault, but it's a oh, fuck it. How do you see? Even I'm being a yourself. Jesus
you.
Christ. It's a cumulation, right? Or a continue. It's like a continuing, snowball effect, right? Of
And
shows that kind of build off each other.
I am not going to say it is true that it was a couple of shows, a couple of series that did give isekai in this case the push, the 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 stage to be all conquering as it is or has been. Um, Sword Art Online gave rise to self-publishing. That gave self-publishing a big boost. Light novels, big numbers. Um, And then it was famously it was ReZero that got like this the double length premiere episode, and that ReZero's popularity really cemented that isekai is somewhat reliable. And you know
Yeah.
what those big corporations like in a show, in a series,
Stuff that's safe and reliable.
and
Easy money, one would
10
say.
more years of isekai dominance. If isekai is reliable, we'll get isekai.
We will keep pumping them out if it keeps making the moonies, keep selling them, keep selling the moonies. As long as it keeps going.
Yes, you can kind of blame ReZero for the isekai boom, because if in a world where ReZero failed, we wouldn't have a billion isekai TV shows. Because ReZero was kind of the
cumulative. Yeah, thank you, Gouda. Yeah.
We would, if
Even
ReZero failed, if their double episodes was a bomb, we would be having 5 years of romantic comedies, because besides isekai,
maybe.
Besides isekai, romantic comedies are always also eternal.
All right, let's get to
9th. Now you can find isekai stories of just about anyone or anything. It's truly one of the most versatile genres Japan has produced. During its early years, before it even got the name isekai, it was a genre that was occupied with a lot of mecha stories. Aura Battler Divine, Vision of Escaflowne, Magic Knight Rayarth, just to name a few. These stories were rich in
I don't like, because these isekais are from a different lineage than the isekai that we talk about on this channel.
Yeah, we've talked about. I can't remember. I think it was either in one of the normalities videos or another video where the same point got made, where it's like, oh, although back then I think it was in the normalities video, she was like, oh, these genres used to be for women, right? Used to be women's shows, and then the men, those dirty men, they stole it from us, Ellie. Those dirty men.
Maybe, but yeah,
I might be misremembering, because it's been a long fucking time since we watched those normalities videos. But that's what this reminds me of, is I remember there was somebody who made that point. This guy's not making that point, but it's a similar kind of, like, the counter is the same, right? In that these are different lineages coming to different. It's like maybe the same starting point, but ending in a different location, right? I think I recall when we had like the big cast with Joe. It was like the
it was a while back. Yeah,
he kind of talked about this a little bit, where you had kind of like the one lineage which was more based on like the military otaku
World
stuff,
Senki,
right? Like, yeah, the World Senki lineage, and I would argue this is kind of a different, like, I wouldn't say a shoujo, but it's definitely a more, it is a different lineage entirely.
So
like, this doesn't lead into
for example,
ReZero,
right? Drifters isekai. I cannot, it is kind of indisputable that Drifters does fit the isekai formula, the setting, the kind of the criteria, except for the fact that, as we know, Drifters is about war, soldiers, fighting, tactics, battlefields.
It is definitely in that military.
It is so. It's very much in the military Senki tradition lineage, way more than the shosetsu that we commonly refer to as isekai today. So, our good audience knows, they are well aware. But just for a future where this is the only video that exists, isekai. There are different isekais that share that's because isekai is in the end a method more than a genre or even a setting. It's a method.
It's a template, kind of.
Yeah, almost. and it's maybe even isekai is a thing that happens, right? Not a conveyance of itself. So you can have different types of isekai that have come from different lineages, and you've got the real world Senkis, and you got your Shiosetsus, your Naros, and it's important to recognize at least that there are differences and that you cannot group them all together under isekai. If you want to, you can if you just group them as a what happens as a method of story making, but you cannot group them together as them sharing a same lineage, as sharing history, and that difference is important.
Yeah, indeed. So anyway, let's continue. Let's see where he cooks with us.
Expansive high fantasy worlds that often got political, presenting you with settings that immersed you in their grand scales in a way modern isekai hasn't really been able to replicate anymore. What was a genre that brought a lot of unique experiences has homogenized into something that now becomes associated with slop.
No.
Modern isekai.
No.
Like an isekai today cannot be super political, complicated, or whatever. Like, it needs to say. I don't like when people go, "Oh, it's all the same now. Oh, homogenized into the same thing." It's kind of lazy, right?
It kind of is, and we've talked a lot about how like you just have to look at the isekais. Like, yes, there are a lot of derivative slop, right? Let's be real. Let's not beat around the bush. There's a lot of derivative slop, but it's not every single one, right? You do get ones every now and then that are, even if they're derivative, there's still something interesting going on. Like, we talked about Last Boss, right? We talked about that last season. Yes, it is, Overlord at home, right?
We often mention.
We had memes about it. We had fun about it, right? We called it Overlord at home, right? Yes, but even despite of that, there is still some interesting. There is still some interesting stuff to talk about with, right? There is still some interesting stuff to kind of go over, right? So yeah, I wouldn't. I think that an issue that we run into a lot is people will just be overly dismissive, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I can level the same criticism to the shonen. Right, last week we got a shonen hat. Let's see, what is the difference between the power of friendship in your My Heroes in comparison to the friendships in Naruto, to the friendships in Dragon Ball before it, and what in 1,000 other shonen, or even
that's kind of a good point, because there is a lot of, like, you could argue that a lot of the shonen slop, right? Slop's become like the new word, right?
It has been for a while.
Yeah, but in terms of, like, you have kind of this there are, like, different, there's a reason we meme about tournament arcs and stuff, right?
And of course
we talk about different, there's like the power ups, they got powered up, they're doing the things, right? A lot of the shonen has all of these different tropes and whatnot that do get rehashed and repeated and redone, but of course you have to look at the granularity of what they do differently to set what sets them apart, right? From the other ones. And you got to do the same thing with isekai, right? And again, that's not, I'm not trying to take away your isekai slop to, funny haha memes, right? I'm not trying to do that. I just think that you shouldn't let the meme kind of dictate you shouldn't be dismissing an isekai just because it's an isekai, right? You should actually examine, hey, what's going on here? What is this actually going to be good, or is it in fact less slop? Right? Is it?
Yeah, and always a personal favorite of mine. I should reread it at some point. Flame of Recca, a real indie of the era, like 1990s, I would believe, manga about a guy with some fire dragon hats. Powers. And Hermetsu, that manga is a series of tournament arcs where they literally get invited into a tournament. Hey, strong fighters, join my tournament. And then they have tournament shenanigans. And then they learn too that this tournament is a prelude to a dark tournament where evil guy has a dark tournament, and when they infiltrate the castle of the guy who is holding the tournament at the place they're at, they are fighting through another tower of tournaments where the evil guys are, waiting on floors for our heroes to appear to fight them one-on-one in groups, and if they can advance or not. It's a complete Jenga, not Jenga. It's a pyramid of needs, and it is all tournament arcs. For Flavor, and I liked it very much.
Yeah. So anywho, let's continue.
More than anything, now seems more interested in selling you an
5-0.
escapist
Good. You were hanging here for a sec.
Oh, hey, yeah, pop it in a quick seat to say hi. Hi.
Hey.
Speaking of, so he just was like, oh, it's power fantasy, as if that's a bad thing.
I saved my Flame of Rekka when my guy is super strong and wins through semi-power friendship and being super smart, isn't?
You're not allowed to escape, Ali. Escapism bad.
Oh, damn. I'll be going back to my office, don't worry.
Yeah. Alright, anyway.
First, before pushing a story that more often than not is painfully mediocre, squandering the gimmick it tried so hard to sell you in the first place. From being reincarnated as an animal, to a monster, to a vending machine. Yeah, because of its money-making potential, trope familiarity, and how safe it is, Isekai today has become a genre that has seen an overabundance of slop that just barely passes as a story. However, it wasn't always like this. Believe it or not, modern Isekai has its roots in fan fiction of all things. We all know a series of tropes comes together to form a genre, but Isekai is unique in the fact that it started out as one of the most contentious forms of online literature, fanfiction, specifically Familiar of Zero fanfiction.
Hey, this is sort of true.
Holy shit, a man who did his research? Oh boy, Ellie.
I do want to mention for the very funny fact that Zero no Tsukaima is in fact Harry Potter fanfiction. So if you want to go a step further and want to blame somebody for Isekai, you can blame Rowling for creating Isekai.
Add that to the list of things, right? Just add it to. But anyway, let's get the history lesson. Let's get the download.
Hey.
Now, pay close attention. During the advent of Japan's cell phone novel boom, people needed a place to post these stories, and as a result, several sites were launched, but none as important as our focus for today, Shosetsuka ni Naru, Shosetsu.com. The site started out as a place for people to post their amateur writing and supported literature of all kinds, from blog posts to journals, etc., but they were not prepared for the storm that was about to take over their site in the form of the Familiar of Zero fanfiction. This site, plus the release of this series, was the perfect storm that gave birth to a plethora of works that spawned more works, which in turn spawned more.
So I feel like he's oversimplifying this a little. We're jumping a couple of steps in the ladder.
We're also jumping like 5 years in like 2 sentences.
Yeah, because and this is a bit of a important detail, right? Because you can say, yes, okay, the genre might have gotten started by the fan fiction, but it's not. Again, it's the same issue we had before, where it's not like you click your fingers, right, and suddenly it's like, oh, now there's like a billion isekais, right? No, this is something that happened over the course of, like you said, like 5 years, right?
Well, 5 years at least. I think even like 10 years between at least Shadow and Overlord, because Overlord was like one very early one. So between Overlord and Eminence, or Bookworm, 10 years ish, I think.
Yeah, and what confuses me about this, right, is this is a 20-minute video. This guy does have the time to kind of like be a bit more precise, right? Like, I feel like it would have been better if he like laid out a bit more of a timeline, right? Been like, okay, so this came out, and it didn't necessarily like kick things off right away, but it did inspire like a few other stories that were based on the same story structure, and over time, those that story structure, as it continued to gain popularity, as it continued to gain popularity due to the way that Shosetsu works, because as we've talked about before, it's kind of like YouTube, where you know
with your
you
titles
get
and
likes,
crapping
yeah,
and
you get
leaving
your
comments and
clickbait,
reviews.
your clickbait and your commentaries and your reacts and your likes and your maybe not algorithm, but you've got your the top stories get the most likes, like they go on the top of the list, right? That kind of thing, right?
And if you go on the
whole
top,
aim is
a publisher will pick you up, and you'll get to be a real author
and
now.
you'll get money, right? So yeah, because of the way the system works, right? Over time, since that style of story was the thing that was getting the most likes from people, right? That kind of led into the evolution of the genre, right? That would be kind of the way I would approach this, right? I feel like because he's kind of glossing over a lot of the granularity of what actually happened, right? It does a bit of a disservice to the watcher of the video. Because if I watched this video and I wasn't educated, right, in the way that I've been educated over the years about this topic, right, I would just be like, oh, so like this fan fiction came out and then suddenly there's like 50 gazillion isekais because that one fan fiction was the popular one, right? That made everything happen, right, Ellie? That's what happened.
Yeah,
like it's the one that did the thing. Instead of it being like, okay, that came out, it was popular, and then you have like 10 years of fucking, you've got like 10 to 20 years of like, works that built upon, again, cumulatively, right? They built upon this foundation, right? And slowly over time, you saw this kind of rise in the genre as it began to pick up steam, right? It's not like a instantaneous thing like it's being presented here.
Yeah. Also, Garda, I do want to clarify, it is not necessarily that Zero Dawn Tsukama is Harry Potter fan fiction. It is written fairly closely after Harry Potter became a big popular thing. So, no, it is not Harry Potter fan fiction, but in the same way that Last Boss is fan fiction of Overlord in that sense.
Right. Yeah, it's heavily inspired, let's say.
Yes.
That's heavily inspired. But let's continue.
It was crazy and created what we know today as not okay, or the proto-isekai genre. So many of the isekai tropes we know and love today come from these fanfictions, to the point that if you look really carefully, you'll see
No, Naro? Naros?
I was gonna say, it's not all fanfictions, right?
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of it, like, and I think the problem is, it's kind of like what you were just describing with, like, you kind of did the same mistake a little bit when you described Isekai as Harry Potter fanfiction, because I get what you mean by that, and you've explained it kind of for the chat, right? Where it's kind of, it's not necessarily like direct fan fiction, it's more heavily inspired by the works, right?
Yeah.
Like if you like it would be like saying ReZero is Narnia fan fiction, right? Because it goes into another world. That's not necessarily accurate, but it could be true if you like had an interview with a guy who was like, "Oh yeah, I really loved Narnia, and that inspired me to make like this type of thing." He's making the same kind of mistake where he's going, "Well, it got started by a fan fiction, so all of it is fan fiction." And if you look really closely, there's like all of these hints that it actually is fan fiction. When in reality, it's no. That's not what's going on here at all. You could liken sites like Shosetsu to, what is it called, like AO3 or whatever.
Yeah,
the
it's more
fan fiction
like
site in the West. Similar kind of concept, right? But there's I feel like our man here is getting lost in his own sauce a little bit.
I don't know when Naroke became a term to describe this type of storytelling. It should be after Shosetsu no Naro became an industry standard. But I don't know.
I mean, it's
when...
in the name.
Yeah, it's
in the name.
But I don't know when that was, because the time when Seino Tsukaima's fanfiction was being written was not the time when Shosetsu was the big one, the big boy on the block where the publishers were picking up your stories. That is still 10 years too early. So, I mean, stories that are now written on Shosetsu Noro are Noro types often, but were the fan fictions back in the day of Zero Tsukaima's, were they called Naro? I don't think so, because that comes from the site, and Naro was one of many sites.
Yeah. Gouda's like, this video is actually decent to discuss. It is. It's better than the last one. That's fucking for sure. Because the last one was just nothing. It was like literally nothing. This actually has like the guy is making interesting points, and he is obviously at least somewhat well researched on the topic. I just think that his conclusions are wrong, right? I think that his conclusion on it's the fan fiction. I think the fan fiction angle is like a red herring, right? I think he needs to kind of like detach that a little bit. I get where he's coming from, right? I get what he's trying to say. I just don't think that it's necessarily like the right conclusion to make based on the evidence. But let's see how he cooks.
References in anime like ReZero, but the amount of fanfiction was so much it began overshadowing the other pieces of literature on the site. And the creators said to themselves, well, I'm not trying to make the next archive of our own, and so fanfiction was banned. Writers who had made a name for themselves with fanfiction didn't want to leave the site and lose their followers, so they turned their hands towards writing original stories with these tropes they loved so much.
When
stories like
was
Mushoku
that?
Tensei.
Because it's interesting.
Yeah, you need to. This would benefit from timeline, right? This would benefit from let's actually examine the history in it and like, okay, what year did that happen? What year did they ban fanfiction that caused kind of like this switch into a different thing, right? When did that actually occur? Because that would benefit the point that he's trying to make deep, right? Yeah, he needs to definitely.
I cannot find it super easily. Let's
essentially, what's your source? Post your source, bro. you know. Essentially, right? Is what is your source on this information, right? Because it is important when trying to establish a lineage like this that you actually do provide, like, because we don't have any basis, right, for what's being said. Like, when did they ban fan fiction that caused the switch, right? Did this happen in like the 2000s, right? Did this happen in like 2001, 2002, right? Did this happen in 2010? Did this happen in 2020? Like when did this actually happen, right? You gotta be a bit more specific here in what you're talking about, because it actually makes the video more confusing, right, for the audience. But anyhow, while you autistically do your research to try and find the answer, I will continue watching.
And others were born from the Naruto movement. And the rest.
Wait, the Naruto movement.
Movement.
Yeah, the Naruto movement. They're protesting in the streets for their Isekai. They've got the signs on the wooden plaques, right? We want Isekai now. Rebellion. I know that's not what he means. That's just a funny way of wording it.
Is history. As you know, these tropes continued to grow and evolve until they became the standard genre of isekai. We have tensei, reincarnation, tenni, transmigration, shokan, summoning, and naru, OP protagonist or a protagonist that gets OP. You might be saying to yourself, but Bread,
all right,
what does one of the least funny...
I did find a thing, right? I wasn't
listening.
What
do we got? What? Give us the lowdown. What do we got?
So, all right, when the first launched, derivative works, fan fictions, was there were a lot of it. 2010 was when it got restricted, and so sister sites were launched where you could post derivative works.
Right.
Then, but the copyright holders, Kadakawa, I would assume, basically said, nah, sister sites to you're still not allowed. And so in 2022, they announced that they would be deleting all the fan fictions, derivative works. And
that is extremely recent.
yeah,
that is like really recent. Like even 2010, right? Like that is like when you think about like when a lot of these like like what SAO was 2001, right?
for when it
Written in
started,
2001.
it started like on a
Yeah,
site called
it was.
Arcadia, I believe.
Yeah, it was a different site, but I'm just like I'm trying to establish the timeline in my head, right? Like SAO comes out. I'm using that as like a reference point, right? That comes out in 2001. I'd have to fucking. I know I've got it saved.
I got the timeline pulled up for me.
I have to
myself.
I have to open it up again and have a look.
So Sword Art
yeah.
Online was started in 2002, and
okay, so I was 1 year off, right? I was 1 year off.
I suppose I do.
But I knew it was around that time.
I suppose I do see like a big boost in isekais in 2012 when although I mean like Overlord was 2009, Log Horizon was 2009, and Shield Hero, ReZero, Yojo Senki was 2011.
So the question would be, like, is it a correlation equals causation problem where perhaps maybe, like, because I'm trying to kind of think about like, did the banning of the fan fiction actually result in a boom of the Naros of the original stories, right? Or is it that those stories were already kind of being made and on the rise? Like, again, this feels like something he needs a source for.
Because
right?
it is get complicated because, Overlord 2009 and Shield Hero, Yojo Senki, Yojo Senki, and
there are no sources in the description.
Yeah. No, the complicating factor of it, Naretsu, is that Shield Hero and Yojo Senki and Overlord were getting light novels around in 2011, 2012, 2010. Say around the time when the copyright holders were cracking down on Shousetsu was also the moment that Shousetsu became more of a platform for future light novels to publish. So it might just be like a hand-in-hand thing. Like, yes, Shousetsu is becoming more professional and an actual place where you can get picked up by a big publisher. In exchange, the big publisher doesn't want fan fictions,
derivative shit,
or derivative works on the site. So it might just be a kind of a hand in hand, like, yes.
Yeah. Well, again, if we had a source, right? If we had authors at like interviews, or if we had more primary sources on that information, then I would be a little bit less. Like again, I would. Yeah, I would kind of be a bit more open to it if there was, at least some kind of like, hey, this author mentioned that they switched from fan fiction to doing original stuff, right? Like that would kind of lead a bit more credence to the idea, right? But because he doesn't have any sources in his description, it definitely hinders my.
And of course, Naretsu, if I'm on the internet and I like to write things, and I hear that, hey, you can get picked up by publishers and get rich and get anime and whatnot. Am I going to continue doing fan fictions because? No, I want to write fan fictions.
Or would I switch? Yeah, or would I switch to wanting
because I could get rich for writing original stuff.
Do my own. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's there's more to it than just Yeah, there's more to it than, people stopped going writing fan fictions because they were forced to. How many people continued writing fan fictions because I don't care about getting published?
Just go to a different site, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, even if it's not a sister site, just go to like a different website. Yeah, and again, like I feel like the lack of contextual information and the lack of sources is the problem. I think if like because I could believe it, right? I could believe what he's saying, right? It's just that without anything to back it up, it's kind of a that's bullshit, but I believe it kind of deal. You know,
Well,
it's a little bit. Yeah.
I gave you the source Wikipedia, and that tells me that told me that no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Did
it
in
was
fact
publisher
happen.
pressure, but the timeline kind of implies that it was more of a become more professional. More professional means less fan work.
But anyway, let's
And
continue.
rapidly declining in quality genres have to do with individualism in a collective society like Japan. Well, cool your ovens, I'm getting there. But before I do,
Oh
it's
yeah,
important
the
we get
actual
a
title
grasp
of
on
the
what's
thing.
Yeah, the actual point. Yeah, we've had all this history. I mean, look, to his credit, again, he's got 20 minutes, right? So, I mean, I'm not gonna like. It's good to have this primer, right? I think this is fine. Like, we're only 6 minutes in. Like, this is okay. It's just like I think that again, he would have been better served if he had primary sources and he had actually extrapolated a bit on some things and had an actual timeline, right? I think that would have made the video this section a little bit better. But let's let him cook.
individualism actually is. Individualism is an ideology that places primacy, autonomy, and value in the individual distinct from the collective. That collective could be society, tradition, hell, your Discord group, whatever it is, it places emphasis on you and your goals and desires. It makes you, the individual, the fundamental unit of meaning, moral worth, and creative expression. Every person has the right to make their own choices, are responsible for defining and pursuing their own values, and derive meaning from whatever they deem fit. It's a stark contrast to collectivism, which sees human identity and values grounded in belonging to a society or a tradition. Japanese society has a
So, I guess that's fine. I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think that.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think he would be better off just reading like a Wikipedia, some the intro bit
a
of Wikipedia.
little bit, and especially because he spent a bit more time on individualism than collectivism, because there's a little bit more going on with like I think you have to, because it's like there's a separation between the ideology and the again prescriptive versus descriptive, right? Like in a like direct definitional sense, yes, individualism is literally just you are an individual, you have autonomy, you know you're working for yourself, right? So and so and so and so. Collectivism is instead of considering things from an individualist point of view, you consider things from a collective point of view, right? The society, the family, the
Yeah,
whatever the
and
group
but
is, right?
yeah, and there are a lot of things, right? I'm thinking of when I say the beggar on the
But you
street.
see, here's the thing. That's different than talking about individualism, Ayn Rand, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a different, like, because that's a whole other thing than like you have the direct definition of the word versus an ideological component, right? It's like saying, oh, collectivism versus communism, right? Because communism is a collectivist ideology, right, in a sense. But so you have to be a bit. I think he needs to be a bit more kind of clear on that. I feel because I get where what he's trying to say here, but I think a better definition would have been. Yeah, he needs a better definition. He needs a more like okay. Here is like, are you talking about the ideological collectivism, individualism, or are you just talking about specifically, singular entity versus group entity, right? That's
Yeah,
kind of what I'm
because
missing.
I'm just I just thought of this example of Naretsu. Does a beggar exist in a collective society? Does a beggar exist in an individualist society? The answer is yes to both, because the beggar in the individualist society is a beggar because he failed as a person, right? The beggar in a collectivist society is a beggar because he's excluded by the collective. So in this point, the end result doesn't really matter. So this is just to say that it isn't a perfect, mirror of everything is different in one society and the other. So you want to be a little bit more clear and defined in what you're talking about, because some things are just the same. And just saying that, oh yeah, what you do is important versus what culture and traditions say. Well, the traditions can exclude single persons out, can elevate single persons up. King and queens. Is being a king an individualist thing, or is it a collectivist thing? Because the collective has decided, or are you big successful king because you are individualist and just do what you need to do? It gets complicated, and you need more than just, oh, what he did. Oh, individualist is when you do thing. Collectivist is when we do thing. Need more.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Let's see how it
The
goes.
reputation that precedes it. I'm sure you've seen all those thing Japan reels around. Neat streets, quiet, respectful.
Collectivism is when streets are clean.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh man. Hang on. I'm getting distracted because phone link nonsense is going on. Unlock all of your features. Pair your mobile device and PC. Okay, I might work on that later. Just minimize that. Yeah, I'll minimize that for now. But anyway, let me go back because I got a little distracted there.
It's a stark contrast to collectivism, which sees human identity and values grounded in belonging to a society or a tradition. Japanese society has a reputation that precedes it. I'm sure you've seen all those thing Japan reels around. Neat streets, quiet, respectful people, and tidy order tucked into a neat little package. But such social cohesion comes at a hefty price that punishes any kind of deviation. Such a repressed society can only give birth to the ultimate form of escapism, traveling to another world with a clean slate. For example, take the after work drink.
Isekai is only popular in Japan, nowhere else.
Yeah, it's not like there are social issues in other parts of the world, right? It's not like okay, Japan has its issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can all agree on that.
I've been to Japan and I've seen all the issues.
Yeah, Japan is not a utopia, right? It has its problems. It has its issues. A lot of those are to do with cultural and collectivism, and a bunch. You can label a bunch of that shit. You can label it on whatever
politics. Whatever.
You can label it on a bunch of shit, right? But at the same time, right? At the same time, I feel like being like, oh. You could argue that a lot of these isekai stories are a direct result of the authors being in their circumstances and so everything is political, whatever, right? But I don't necessarily think that is like the sole reason for this, right? I think that when you put a bit too much weight on the societal side of it, I think you do get kind of lost in the weeds because you end up kind of removing the individual author's autonomy in a sense. Because the fact of the matter is artists tend to create things because they want to create them, right? Because they have a message they want to tell, because they're inspired by another work, because they're inspired by something else, right? It's not usually like, oh, I'm in the big depression because collectivist society. I will make escapist fantasy isekai get me. Oh no, right? Yeah, I feel like in a lot of these discussions we kind of lose the individual artists' kind of perspective, right? And what
Yeah,
they
with
actually think, which is why I find it more interesting to look at like interviews from Pacific authors to kind of glean, oh, okay, why did you make this? And then they will just tell you, right?
they can still be wrong about why they wrote the thing, but that's besides the point.
Well, but you get what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
I think it's not helpful to. I don't like stripping the individuality away from the artists. I think
And
that's because it's a core component.
like I said it before that. Oh no, Japan. Right, it's like a bit of a layers. First off, Isekai is popular worldwide. So to say that Isekai is something that can only, be popular, be resonating with collectivist societies, then why is it popular worldwide? Secondly,
Or that the collectivist societies are like the reason for its existence in a sense, right?
yeah, and besides that, Retsu, let's not forget that our animes, our mangas, our web novels are still and ever are super niche. They are not representative of Japan. They are not.
Yeah.
You cannot walk up to anybody on the street and say, "Hey, have you heard of?"
Have you watched Last Boss? Did you like that? Yeah.
You can do
yeah,
this
yeah.
for Demon Blade, but not for Last Boss. You cannot beat Demon Blade.
Yeah.
But the point is that no, yes, these stories might resonate because they are written in the culture by people, blah 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 blah, and
Yeah,
therefore may be popular, and people can get the analogs and the depression of Japanese office work and can empathize with it and all that stuff. That doesn't mean that somebody else cannot. That somebody else in an office somewhere in Mexico cannot have the same experience as somebody in Japan in that sense, and can empathize and recognize the situations of the characters and they're reflected in their own personal lives. And it can also mean that whoever what's this office stuff, who cares? I am in southern Kyushu, and I am working in a factory every day. I'm in a farm. What is this office stuff? They're just whiny people. They have air conditioning. What do they have to complain about? That is also a Japanese perspective. So let's be careful with the whole culture generalizations of based on a genre. When of course there is the ever precedent and longer lasting genre of the romantic comedies. Or what are we going to say that the Japan? What can we glean from Japanese society of the romantic comedies? Something, presumably, probably, but let's not say that whole of Japan is this because of romantic comedies.
Yeah, exactly. I can agree. It's kind of, you can do the same thing with like American media as well.
Oh yeah, you're superheroes that violence solves everything, and that you have to beat up your every opponent, and that the world is scary and out to get you, and that secret societies are there, sabotaging you.
So, whatever. But anyway, let's keep going.
In sections you usually see in a few anime and even Japanese dramas. It can appear sweet on the surface until you closely examine the reality of it. What started out as a friendly after-work invitation morphed into an after-work ritual that can make or break your career. If you decided not to partake without a good reason, your company loyalty is often questioned. Not to mention, these drinks were neither cheap nor free. It's a mandatory expense framed as a team-building experience. A community tax, if you will. Through my research, I found out that Japanese people have a lot of these hidden social taxes, and it's an incredibly high standard to hold oneself to. So how does this relate to modern isekai? Well, let's dive
Do you have some hidden social taxes?
Not really.
Don't you have birthdays to attend and gifts to give and mandatory visits?
not particularly. Really. I mean, yeah. In terms of like that, those do exist in the West, but yeah, I feel like he could have maybe talked to some Japanese people maybe about this, right? Because it's one thing to hear about it being a thing and researching that it is a thing. It's another thing to maybe get some first-hand accounts, right? Because maybe it's not necessarily all. Oh, you're being forced to have drinks with the boss,
Yeah, and
right? Maybe
that stereotypes are always 10 years out of date, right?
Yeah. So I wouldn't
I
lean
have
so hard into it. I wouldn't lean so
no,
hard
because
into it
I've seen some pieces of media, some comments, something, I forgot where and when, that after office parties, those are bullshit. We're not going to do those. There is some I've seen some piece of media that said that forced after office parties are a scam. And if that is being said out loud in some piece of media, then it's probably a sentiment that exists in Japan as well. So it could be in Naretsu that mandatory after office parties are on the decline, are being phased out, or maybe there's some company policy about it that stop doing that bullshit. It makes people hungover in the morning or whatever. So be careful with this stereotype with your AI generated answer based off the 50 years of data.
Your chat GPT. I asked Chat GPT,
and it's getting all the data from the past 10 years, but not the data from the past year.
All right, well, let's see.
To the genre and see. Almost every isekai follows the same formula. Step 1, have a main character who, in our world, was either a nobody shutting loser with no achievements whatsoever, or a background character whose favorite hobby was breathing. Step 2, send them to another world, either through summoning or death, where they quickly discover they have some insane stat, ability, or skill that lets them
do you mean that to be isekai you have to be going somehow to another world? Well, what an odd step to have in your isekai stories. Naretsu, have you your war stories? They usually start with a war.
Yeah.
How old?
Usually. Yeah, how interesting. How
No, and of course there are plenty of isekai stories where the main character wasn't a loser of some kind in on Earth. Slime comes to mind right now. He was just an office worker. And I'm not going to say that the protagonist of Bookworm, she died of, I don't know, she was buried in books or whatever. The protagonist of 300 Years of Killing Slimes died from overwork. I wouldn't call that their hobby being breathing. One was unlucky, the other was miserable, sure, but to say that it is a thing for the protagonist to be lame, I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's only there you got your Mushoku Tensei protagonist. That guy was lame. ReZero was more of like a of a boy who needed therapy, and he kind of gets it in this isekai, I suppose. I wouldn't call him, a loser in that sense, right? He showed quickly an image of the when he described, to be isekai, you need to be teleported. That was from Cheat Magicians, where these two characters were just walking and got teleported. Neither of them were losers; they were just regular students. And then
yeah, Yeah. I
A
think
lot of-
again, it's overgeneralizing a little
yeah,
bit.
it's
It's kind
like
of the problem.
they were losers, and of course, yeah,
Or they were like blank side characters or whatever, and it's like, I mean, it's interesting because Slime is like an interesting one because you see him when he gets stabbed, and it doesn't seem like, you know, he seems like an ordinary guy, right? He's got his
Yeah.
friends with him, and he's, you know, he's got a life, right? He's doing
Mhm.
his thing.
and
it's,
you know
it's not like over
his dying
dramatized.
his dying wish got fulfilled
Yeah, his
by his
dying
friends.
wish is to destroy his computer.
And
yeah,
it was and it happened. His computer was off in
yeah.
the bath, so he had a friend who did the thing because he
A
cared for his
real
dear
G.
friend.
Yeah, he had a real G. Yeah.
Total
But
loser,
anyway,
right?
Realize every single challenge they come
Mm.
across. Step 3. Have them have a goal that deviates from the traditional hero's journey, with them quickly acquiring a harem of multicolored women, must include one elf and one cat girl. Step 4.
Again, he's just overgeneralizing the whole thing,
Yeah.
right? 'Cause in Overlord, it's not like Ainz has a fucking.
No.
He kind of does, but he kind of doesn't, right?
No, yeah. I wanted to, no, that's not a harem, you would say. He's
No.
kind of feels like another definitional thing. Oh, one male protagonist who has a bunch of women around him. Oh, does it matter that they are subordinates or children? Naretsu, my character works in an office and he has female co-workers. Oh no, it's a harem.
Yeah.
Right? And while good isekai does have some measure of individualism in them, they end up holding up a lot of collectivist values. It's not that there's anything wrong with that. Media is often a way for creatives to express their ideals, and a lot of these Japanese authors are, well, part of Japanese society and have to uphold said values.
No,
Well,
they don't
again,
have to.
we're being a bit generally here.
Yeah, because good
generalization
moral
here.
messages sometimes involve caring for other people, you know. Hey, don't throw trash on the street. Oh, what a collectivist ideal they have. They must be Japanese.
Yeah. Don't be a fucking asshole. You know, don't be a dick.
Naretsu, you sound very Japanese right now.
I know. Holy shit. It's yeah, like I don't there's this very weird kind of undertone here. Like I know he's not trying to say collectivism bad or whatever, but he's applying a lot of things to collectivism that aren't really like. Yeah, I don't think like picking up the trash is a collectivist idea, right? In general, right?
Caring for your friends.
Yeah, caring for your family,
helping others.
Not assaulting random people in the street, right? Super collectivist
wanting
ideas,
the best
right?
for everybody, helping to make a good country. Oh no, that's very collectivist of me.
Yeah, but yeah, oh god, it's very I think he's being we're losing the rails a little bit here. We're kind of getting
Their
off
works
the rails.
reflect the world they live in, and that's true for any country, really. I mean, just look at Oda's choice to work up to 20 hours a day as one of the highest paid mangaka of our generation. An individualist who say he's famous because of his talents and should therefore be treated accordingly. But collectivism says no, your talent is how you pay back to your community, therefore it's your duty to keep producing good work. Do you see where I'm going with this? These ideals are reflected in a lot of standard shonen.
Hustle culture says that you should be working 20 hours a day for the hustle. Is that now?
You need to have 5 side gigs, right?
Yeah, and 5 side girls to dump every day of the week, and be single during the weekend, because you're such a Chad. No, that Oda is working 20 hours a day. I don't even know if that's true. And even if it is that because he's such a collectivist, or is that because he just is a workaholic? And is he workaholic because he wants to for the collective, or because he wants to keep making that money, and this is the only way that he knows how?
what is like, and again, the only way that you would know that motivation is if he did an interview and you could source him directly fucking saying what his intent is, right?
Mhm.
like this is the problem with making these kind of generalist assumptions with no like source or evidence, right, to back it up, right? Because right now he's just saying things, right? Because there's no sources, he can just say things, and it doesn't really like you can't prove or disprove what he's saying, right?
And
Like
he's
you
saying
can't be like, oh no, you're wrong.
and he's saying such normal good boy behaviors and ascribing them to such hard line hard line in the sand. That's not very hard line actually, a line in the sand, but that's the saying, I suppose, of no, this is collectivist. If you are nice, I suppose you're collectivist. If you work hard, you're collectivist. But is it true? Because we for funsies and to be contrarians, to have something to talk about, we have been making opposite examples the entire time now. Since we started talking about this, so it's not even.
Yeah.
He's not even making good arguments right now. Of oh yeah, I have to concede that is very collectivists of Oda to do. I haven't, or whatever other thing he's going to mention, I haven't encountered thus far, at least.
Right. So anywho, let's continue.
Naruto wants to become the Hokage, the Oga at the top of his village that shunned him most of his life, but as he goes through his story, he realizes that his tether to other people also means he has a duty to them. Conversely, we're introduced to other characters like Sakumo Hatake, who are punished for acting against the village's, the collective's, best interest. Same thing in Mob Psycho 100, where Reagan teaches Mob that his psychic abilities are just like people who are born taller or run faster. His gifts don't make him better than anyone else, and he shouldn't see himself as odd or special for it. A wholesome message to be sure, but through the lens of social cohesion.
I mean, yes, I suppose that Mob Psycho is now the best example of a somewhat collectivistic thing, right? Because I suppose, yes.
Well, I don't even know because like the idea of okay, your psychic powers are like you shouldn't grow an ego, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't become a like psychopath because you have psychic powers and you can murder people with a click of your finger or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You should like I mean funnily enough, like the entire like I need to catch up on Mob Psycho. I think I don't know if I've finished the whole thing yet. I'd have to go check.
I'm just thinking of the
last. The whole no, because like the whole through line of Mob Psycho is about like self improvement, right?
Yeah.
Like Mob is trying to improve himself. Yes, he has these psychic powers, but he's also physically weak and he's naive and he has all these other like issues going on that he's kind of working through, right? And so it's sort of I don't know if I would really necessarily call it collectivist when the entire like point of his arc as a character is about him wanting to improve himself, not necessarily for the sake of others, but specifically for himself, right? And it's not in a selfish way, right? It's in a self improvement is actually kind of based, and you should probably like improve yourself because in improving yourself, that will make things better for everyone, right? Because you as yourself, it's almost like the Jordan Peterson clean your room type shit, right? You can't look at improving like circumstances outside of your control or stuff that's like outside of your purview unless you can actually take the first steps, right? To Jordan Peterson uses like the clean your room example, and yes, I know Jordan Peterson's gone a little bit fucking insane in recent years, but this is doesn't necessarily mean that like this is wrong, right? Like if you can't even be fucked to clean your room, how are you going to like actually be like able to change other things around not just yourself but the world around you, right? Like you need to have the ability to actually implement change internally in order to actually do things in the outside world. And that kind of is sort of resonant in Mob Psycho, but again, I don't know if I would call that collectivist, right?
I
Like,
see a little bit more of a collectivism in Mob Psycho, especially in the season finale of the first season, where Reagan goes to the band of villains, right? And he's saying, "What is this toy sword? You're lame. Who cares about your personal trauma, about being rejected, whatever? Deal with it. Oh, what is this stupid clothes you are wearing? Is it for show? It's just for show, right? Fuck that. Take it off. You better fit in society right now. Fit in."
But well, I don't know. Again, I don't know if he's doing it from a society, like if he's pushing like a societal perspective in that though. Like again, I don't know if he's saying do that. Is he calling the guy's clothing lame and weird because he wants the guy to conform into
Yeah, he says,
society as a
"Grow up.
conformist, or is he?
You're not a child. Take that off."
No, but is he doing it? No, but is he doing it specifically because he wants the guy to be in the collective, or because he just thinks it's fucking lame? Right? There's difference there in intent, right?
Well,
There's a little bit
I
of
suppose.
difference.
Have you? How far
Yeah, like
have
there's
you?
a difference of intent. There's a difference of intent in going. You dressing like let's use like a real world example, like a goth, right? Let's say you're encountering a goth, and you go up to the goth and you say your clothing is lame, you look cringe. You put on a business suit and go get a real job, fit in with
It is
society.
kind of. If have you watched the first season?
Well, let me finish. Let me finish.
Right.
There's a difference between that and just going up and being like, "You look like a fucking dork. You look fucking ridiculous. What the fuck are you doing?" Right? Like, there's a difference between these two intents, right? Between the old man, like your dad, being like, "Get a real job. Why are you dressed up like a fucking furry or whatever on the internet or something?" Right? And your dad going, "You cringe, son. What are you doing? Stop that. It's
So,
dumb.
I
It's
mean, the
lame."
thing in Mob Psycho, I mean, a bit of a backstory, is that these villains want to change society, change it because society is lame. They rejected me. They are conforming. They are for the weak. We are the special and strong.
See, I have to remember because I did watch the season that you're talking about, but it's been a while, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I didn't really necessarily see like a big overarching message of you need to fit in with society, so stop being, you, right? It was more these guys. It's like you said, they want to change society, but it's kind of like, how can you change society if you're gonna be a fucking dumbass, right?
Yeah.
About it, right? So
it's about.
But again, getting back to kind of the video a little bit, it's yeah, I feel like he's kind of making a lot of assumptions and kind of stretching a bit to kind of get this idea of yeah. I don't know. We've lost the source a little bit. Let's...
Mob Psycho is the first show series that he at least showed.
Well, at least to you anyway. I'm not sure if I agree, but I get where you're coming from, right? But, yeah. Let's see where he goes.
About conforming whatnot.
Hmm?
About the conforming to society is the closest that he got.
Yeah.
He says these gifts shouldn't stop you from positively contributing to the community. Spy Family has a man adopting a random kid and creating a fake family for his job. Of course, he later grows to care for them deeply, but it's framed for the collective, for the greater good. The higher-ups need him to...
No. I mean, it is because his job says so.
But is that like... Yeah, this is... He's stretching. He's really stretching here.
Because if...
Dare I say projecting.
Oh no, bring that back. No, but...
Okay.
I mean, I suppose he's a spy employed by one of the two countries that exist in this world. And I suppose that he is loyal to to the nation, I guess. But I mean, I only watched the first season, so that's a a flaw on me in this discussion conversation. But I don't think it's framed as the collective, because Anya is kind of the protagonist in this story, where what Anya thinks and feels is more important than what Lloyd here needs for his mission, right? And I don't know. I mean, Lloyd, when Anya was being insulted during the interview for the fancy school he needed to be at, the for the collective thing would be, who cares if my newfound daughter is insulted? She'll better let her be insulted for the school, for the in her school, in the school, for the collective. He went, no, you're lame, fuck you, and left when it was his mission to get the daughter into the school. So is he now, I don't know, oh no, he's now individualist because he didn't like his daughter being insulted, but oh no, that is somebody else. That's actually very collective of him, or the collective of his family. Gets weird, gets doesn't fit.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. It's again. It comes back to: are we talking about definitional collectivism or philosophical, ideological collectivism? Right?
He's kind of
these two things. He's like jumping between the two, and it's kind of not good. It's causing a lot of confusion.
More
and I think that's
drifting and
like
floating.
not to bring back the mob psycho thing again. But I think that's kind of where our disagreement is, because I'm thinking about ideological versions of collectivism, not definitional, when I'm thinking about this.
Which is more
I feel
I'm just grasping because I'm trying to find a collectivist thing in the spy family that he mentioned, and there's no big collectivist ideology as far as I could feel in there.
And that's what I'm getting at.
The only thing that I can point towards is actions.
Is having a family collectivist? like
being employed,
when you boil things down like this, right? When you boil things down like this, the definition just becomes fucking meaningless, right? It doesn't mean anything when it's having a family. Having a hero collectivist, right?
Doing your job, is that collectivist? Being salaried,
job, being employed, right? Is that collectivist, right? Is that again? And this is why he needed to be more clear about what version are you talking about? Are you talking about ideological collectivism or just definitional collectivism? Because if you're talking about definitional collectivism, yes, you could argue everything has collectivism in it, right? Every story has some collectivist messaging or something in it, because by that logic, just having someone that you care about is collectivist because you're both part of your own collective, right? It becomes useless. It becomes fucking useless, right? So decide what the fuck you're going to talk about, right? Decide if you're talking about communism or fucking, something else, right? Come on, come up with something else. But anyway, let's keep going.
Get a wife and a kid, so he does, and that is the premise of the anime. Even Gojo, the honored one himself, is not free from this, as the elders of Jujutsu Society believe that his powers are a tool for the execution of their will, and this is what drives Geto down the path he takes. Gojo becomes an enemy when he becomes unfilial, when he says no to both Yuta and Itadori's execution. So when Gojo is sealed, the elders waste no time trying to carry out their will for the quote of the greater good, by turning to sorcerers who they knew would respect that filial piety to carry out said will. Even Kusakabe remarks that he would have killed Itadori the moment he ate that finger. This illustrates a lack of belief in Itadori's individual abilities to counter Sukuna's control in the grand scheme of things.
Alright, this is way too detailed.
Yeah, I haven't watched Jujutsu.
No, me neither. So, I mean,
and I don't. And again, it's like, okay, I guess it's kind of collectivist, but does that really matter in the context of the story? Like, does it really matter that you have, there's like the elders or whatever, and they're executing their will, but then the guy goes against the will and gets sealed or whatever?
Oh, this
It's
is
like,
a.
I get.
This is
Is that
a.
collectivism? Is
This is
that a
a.
collectivist, Ellie? Is that
This
what
is a
you
damning
went against the
critique of.
will of society and you did a murder and they threw you in jail? Oh, so collectivist.
This is
Like,
actually a damning condemnation of collectivism going against the will of the elders, who have their own shady plans.
This is getting silly.
Dori being Sukuna's natural counter does not matter, even if he's 1 in a million. Conversely, when Gojo steps on ants, he doesn't kill them. Story-wise, you could say it's because of his curse technique was active, but narratively, I believe it's because Gojo respects the individual down to its smallest unit, which is unfortunate because it ended up being used against him in the Shibuya incident. The themes of traditional shonen are clear. It's a battle between individualist and collectivist ideals. Oftentimes, they fight to protect the status quo. And as such, the typical shonen protagonist embodies the Japanese ideal of
when the JRPG protagonist finds out that the church is evil and has to kill God, is that a individualist thing or a collective thing?
Yeah. All kind of, again, generalizations, not good. Don't do it.
Gammon, enduring quietly even though you're suffering, giving your all for the collective. And you might be saying, Isekai and shonen share a lot of tropes, so what makes Isekai so different? Unlike shonen protagonists, who are people who initially start out as nothing but desire to do good and never give up, the typical Isekai protagonist is a loser. They're the undesirables of Japanese society.
We already said that this
isn't
true.
Yeah, we already covered this, how this is
or
wrong,
simply exist to be bullied or disregarded. While Isekai is seeing an uptick in female protagonists, which have made a space for themselves in the villainess subgenre, a way to break from Japanese feminine ideals, most of these losers are guys because they are held to a certain standard. While the perfect female archetype for the Japanese woman is the Yamato Nadeshiko, for men it's a little more dynamic. Enter the Japanese salaryman, an ideal that can be traced all the way back to the Showa era, aptly named the Showa Man, a hardworking provider who makes time for his wife, kids, friends, and still puts in extra time at the office and is completely dependable.
I found out, Naretsu, that these are actually all drawn by one guy.
Yeah.
Every single one of these illustrations is the same guy. So if you see a wacky niche illustration of this is drawn by the same guy. I thought it was funny.
And still goes and drinks with the office crew. Now that is one hell of a standard. The Showa man keeps a stiff upper lip and doesn't complain about these seemingly impossible standards. Until now, this is the image the average Japanese office worker is supposed to live up to. We've already seen the kid equivalent in the Genki boy, who is cheerful, positive, and willing to help his friends out at no cost. Both of these archetypes are persons existing for the collective. Self-care or time for oneself do not exist in their dictionary. Isekai is crazy in the way that once they can't fulfill the obligations in the real world, they are not pressured to fulfill them in the next world. And so Isekai, both peak and slop alike, all inherently have the theme of individualism baked into their very cores. A lot of Isekai, mostly bad, are about the self and about reclaiming your autonomy when you're expected to just keel over and die. The sentiment is that if you can't be meaningful to society in any useful way right now, you should actually just off yourself.
That's a great out of context clip right there.
If you can't contribute, die.
Yeah, die. Again, I don't really have a whole lot to say because he's just kind of he's fallen into the
vague rambling about shaky premises,
stereotypes, generalizations. Yeah, it's the same stuff repeated, right? Where it's just he's basing a lot of this off very general stereotypes about basically everything. Instead, I really wish there was sources. I really wish he would have like interviews or primary sources that he could fall back on for a lot of this, right?
I would kind of.
Because another thing is like, okay, so like, just to go back a little bit, right? Just because I want to. What was the? I have the timestamps. I can go back really easily. It was like.
No, I was going to
Show.
mention
Deal that can be traced
Oh.
all the way back to the show.
Wait. 1926 to 1989. Ellie, have things changed since 19?
Absolutely not, of course.
Nothing has ever changed. Like, it's not like we've done videos where we've talked about the fact that they got rid of stuff like the, forever employment and, whatnot that they can't do anymore, and how that's affected the youth that went into the workforce with a certain expectation that they can no longer have because of the fact the economy basically collapsed, right?
Or has been collapsed for 50 years.
And how you've got like the boomers and whatnot that are essentially living it on easy, forever employed, but the zoomies can't even like properly get employed and whatnot. Like, I feel like, while I would say that you do have like for stuff that's lingered from the different era, right? We're in the year of our Lord 2026. I think that the authors of today that are writing isekais of today are probably writing them from a more modernist perspective than a Showa era perspective, right? Like, I don't necessarily like think that things have just remained the same and the stereotypes are exactly the same from 1989 all the way through to now, right?
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And so again, he's basing this off stuff that's a bit, also I'm gonna just find.
Yeah, and I
think
just
we were about there, I think.
Oh, good. Because this the first half was fun. The Red 2, it was
Yeah,
fun.
first half was alright. First half was alright. He's got, there was some hiccups here and there, and we criticized it, right? And for the most part, it was okay. Now we've completely lost the rails. We're completely in. I'm gonna overgeneralize, vague, my Japan, my society, my collectivism, my individualism. Very, very, yeah. It's some shoddy work. It's very shoddy.
I would. I mean, I seen a bit, like half of the first season of 300 Years of Killing Slime, and there was this zombie show, right, where the thing was that the zombie apocalypse was good because goodbye society and its horrible, oppressive work culture, right? I mean, those two shows are about how one of the protagonists died from overwork, and the other person almost died but was liberated by the zombie apocalypse. I would like to make some. If I would know both shows more intimately, I would like compare both two shows and see which similarities, which moral messages they share, because both are. Because in the new world of 300 Years of Killing Slime, she is very take it easy, don't overwork bad. That's the kind of the whole thing of the show. It's a super hard fuck overwork message. Well, that zombie show is a big fuck oppressive work culture. Let it die in a zombie apocalypse. That's its message. So they have some overlap. So I would be interested in what more overlap they have. That is slightly out of the scope of collectivist and individualist societies. I suppose that, of course, there both was a death of the collective when she died and got into the world where she didn't feel the pressure, and when the workplace died for our guy in the zombie apocalypse. And yeah, I would be interested to know better what improvements they see in a world without that, or without that oppressive work. But to frame it as a collectivist versus individualist, that feels too shallow, too narrow, too naive.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
And again, it's like, I don't want to repeat myself, but it's, what are we talking about, right? Are we talking about ideology, or are we talking about just like very, very generalized themes that apply to like 99% of fucking fiction? You know, like, yeah. Anyway, let's keep
yeah,
going.
because
The
even
sentiment is that if you
just
All right, I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish, and then we'll keep
just for funsies, because Kaguya was last week, and Kaguya good show. And I guess a small spoiler. Shirogane, our boy, our main protagonist, does a lot of work, a lot of overwork, and it is because he is very insecure about his own self-worth, and the only way he sees how to fix that is to go 100% more every single day, every moment of the week, more, 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 more. And although at the moment, confession, yay, love, etc., he still has that attitude. It's not like his attitudes towards I have to be better, I have to be better suddenly changes when he gets the girlfriend and they both confess love and whatnot. No, he's still insecure and still feel the need to be better, bigger, more perfect than perfect. And the show kind of tackles that for a moment and says, no, you don't need to be perfect. I don't know. Is it then? I mean, it gets real tiring when I have to suddenly conform everything again to in this collectivist individualist framework, because not overworking yourself because your girlfriend is worried. Oh no, that's an individualist thing now, I suppose. It gets really lame really quickly if you do it like this.
Anywho,
can't be meaningful to society in any useful way right now, you should actually just off yourself. However, loser protagonists don't agree to that. In this new world, the weakest are secretly the strongest thanks to their unique skills, and they end up becoming stronger not for the sake of the collective, but for their own sake. They go about the world however they please, and any threat to them is one that tries to harm their individualism. It's a genre.
Again, I don't want to keep beating the dead horse, right? But he is really generalizing here. Like, I don't think every single isekai is about, they're going after the individual. Like, when Shield Hero gets accused of rape, I don't think that's like, your individualism is bad, right? Off exile, right? I don't think that's not actually what's happening there, right? It's not an attack on his individualism. It's
Genre that doesn't really follow the traditional hero's journey, despite how most of them are about people being summoned to be heroes that will defeat the demon lord. Upon arriving in this new world, they end up just doing their own thing, going against what this new society expects from them, forcing whatever plot was there to morph to their actions. In most modern isekai,
I mean, the only show that actively resists the hero's call is that I can think of is Konosuba. When you have to kill the demon lord, and what does our hero Kazuma do? He stays in the same town forever.
Yeah,
he has not worked.
Yeah,
every threat.
He doesn't give a
Every step towards killing the demon king only happens because they are coming to him in one way or another. They are just there when he was there, and now the demon king general, another demon king general, has died. Is it because Kazuma is fighting heroically against the demon king and it's in the terrible generals he has? No, he was there and they had a fight and Kazuma died, but he won. That's an act of hero resist the hero's call. But then another thing, a thing like Shield Hero is defeating evil where he sees it. I suppose I've thought of another one, but doesn't really matter because many of these isekais do have like a big evil guy, and they do go, "Oh, fighting the demon lord? No, not right now." And but then a thing happens, and that convinces them to do the thing anyway, right? That's like the first step of the hero's journey is no. Then your hometown gets destroyed, and then you go on your adventure anyway.
Yeah, call to action and whatnot.
Yeah. The refusal of
But
the hero's call is a part of the hero's journey.
Sometimes, yeah. But, well, yeah, actually, yeah, because, I mean, if you even look at something like Star Wars, right? Like, Luke is, like, resistant, and then his family gets fucking killed, right? By the
and then
stormtroopers.
he goes.
Yeah, so, because he realizes what's going on. So yeah, no, yeah, this is just...
The world does not exist until the main character arrives. Whatever politics or world building that had existed prior to their arrival only feels like flavor text and is never delved into deeper unless the protagonist specifically has interest in them. It does a huge disservice to the
It's so bad. This is so fucking bad. Holy shit,
if the story doesn't deal in the politics because our main character isn't there to see it, to perceive it, to know of it, how would the audience know of it without massive text dumps, lore exposition about
and there's like the perfect counter example to this is Overlord, where you have shit happening all the fucking time that has like, you know, different perspectives following different characters.
Like
right?
whole quarter seasons of, oh no, and now we're for 3 episodes, we're going to follow these lizards. Where is he? Who the fuck knows?
Where is he? Who knows? Oh, look, there he is. He's shown up just now.
Yeah.
Right?
And we have 3-4 episodes without him, and that's...
Hell yeah, exactly. So it's, again, he's being a bit overgeneralizing and dismissive at the same time. I'm feeling that hint of dismission, right?
And he's showing with Mushoku Tensei, and Mushoku Tensei has a lot of politics in it, and it shows it when there are characters around the politics to be relevant.
When it is relevant to the actual story, right?
When Sylvie and the princess are there together, then we're going to talk about the nobility politics and the line of succession and, you know, assassination plots between royal houses and first and second of concubine children succession stuff. But then when Rudy is doing his stupid panty hunting in the second episode, there's no politics there right now. There's no intrigue.
And again, I feel like he's just attacking like the straw man of what an isekai is, instead of like actually examining the works on their own merits, right? He's constructed this is what isekai is, and now I'm going to beat the shit out of it and claim that it's, you know, this, when when you actually look at the totality and the granularity of these different stories, like they don't fit with what he's saying, as we're clearly showcasing.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's keep going.
We can mention other shows, but you know,
immersive and well thought out.
Yeah.
In the case of isekai, it's only really a fantasy just so we can see someone from our world use a sword and cast magic. These worlds do not exist to immerse you, the audience, but instead acts as a sandbox for the main character to do whatever they want in.
And how does he know that?
A main character who is designed to be as bland as possible for you to impose yourself into. And that's one of the main selling points behind isekai. Escapism.
Yeah, here we go. Oh boy, are you ready for escapism bad?
Oh no.
Escapism bad, Ellie! Oh no! Right, let's let him cook. He's got like 5 minutes left, so let's let him cook. I want to see if I've jumped the gun or not, basically.
I'm sure a lot of you watching are from parts of the world that aren't Japan. I know this because my analytics tell me exactly where you guys are. And it also tells me just how many of you are subscribed to. So
subscribe to my channel instead.
I'm not gonna lie, that is an insane ratio. 96% not subscribed. That's fucking crazy.
I haven't looked at my analytics in
I
forever.
have to wonder. I have to wonder what we're at. But like,
Let's see. Where's this sign?
I feel like we would have a better ratio.
Oh
than
yeah,
because
we only have like 5 viewers, so it doesn't not represent. No, we have like 50-50.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But like, so what does that tells me that maybe he's had like some videos pop off, and a lot of people watched them, but he didn't get subscribers from those videos that popped off.
Hey people, let's make it 100%. There's enough people for
yeah, unsubscribe.
No. Everybody subscribe. There's only like 5 of you. We can do it.
Oh no. But no, it's okay. But like, yeah. Anyway, let's see where he's cooking.
So you may find it hard relating to a lot of these boring, lifeless, vapid, mind-numbing caricatures they call main characters, and you also don't see why anyone would find interest in them, and that is because you're used to seeing stories that focus on someone else's journey, their life, their struggles, their victories, their relationships, their story. Isekai, on the other hand, gives you your story. You're the one who's been...
Well, no, because I mean, Naofumi's his own character. He's not just like blank. You know, he's an ordinary guy, but that, you know, just because he's an ordinary guy and then he goes through what he goes through and that changes him as a person, right? Like, he's still having a character arc. He's not just a thing. Ainz, right, is his own character with his own stuff going on, right?
Yeah.
You know, Rudy is his own character, right? They're not just blank slate characters. Fucking ReZero guy, right? He's his own character, right, with his own insecurities and motivations and stuff. And again, this is just him creating a straw man, like the slop straw man, and attacking that and applying that, projecting that, if you will, onto all of these other shows that just happen to share the same genre. Because again, I can, there are isekais out there that do fall into the straw man, right? There are isekais that have a protagonist that is literally just a fucking blank piece of wood, doesn't have anything interesting going on, right? At all, right? It's just fucking whatever. But I would argue those are not actually the majority. I think a lot of the isekais, at least the ones that people even like bother to fucking watch, right, do in fact have main characters that have interesting motivations and whatnot. Like shit, like Bookworm, right? Bookworm is a case where it's a character, right? I'm pretty sure. There's plenty of examples of isekai that have actual characters be the main character.
Let's not forget our good girl who says, "Hey Dad, I'm gay. Don't even bother hooking me up with men. I'm not going to marry."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what a bland male black hat protagonist.
Yeah. You're getting tired. But it's frustrating because there is an interesting discussion to be had here about collectivism and individualism in isekai and in anime in general, and in Japanese media in general, and in how Japanese society does, impact the way that authors write their works. Like, there is an interesting discussion to be had, but we can't have that discussion because the level of analysis that we get from people that are like anti-tubers is this, right? Like, this is the level of analysis that we get. It's literally, I'm going to construct the meme straw man of what people think isekai is and just beat the shit out of that dead horse for the rest of eternity without any other analysis or discussion or talk about what's actually going on. It's like, no, all isekai protagonists are exactly the same. They're the same character. There's never any variation. Blah 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 blah. Power fantasy. Blah 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 blah. Escapism. Blah 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 blah.
I wouldn't even really limit it. It gets complicated because if you want to do this, you would to talk about collectivism in Japanese media, you wouldn't really want it to narrow it to isekai specifically because it's very narrow and you get kind of a skewed view because then you are going to have mainly works from web novels or shousetsu, which is not the entire gambit of Japanese of just Japanese perspectives. and whatnot. So, you might want to include, Sentence to be a Hero, which we'll talk about later, which has some very strong ideas about how to live and what to value and all that stuff. So you might want to include that. But yeah, but then even say your slop isekai Naretsu is 300 years of slime slop. It sure has a title that's very sloppish, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it has a very strong message of fuck overwork. It's trash. It's a war crime to do overwork.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. That's. I suppose you would want to include that show in the greater, a greater discussion about what should we value in society, and I suppose you can kind of skip over slime by that, because slime doesn't really says a lot about how to live in the society. That is really a ever increasing power level battles series instead. So I don't think that's a very relevant one in that case. You might want to, and then you might want to include, Tanya the Evil, because Tanya the Evil likes to have monologues about the nature of man and all that stuff. So that has something to say. Anyway, that is my small rant, I guess, about it's not that easy, and you probably shouldn't just do isekai, even though there's a lot of isekai you can use.
All right.
Of the world. You are the one with the overpowered stats and skills. You are the one with the elf waifu. It makes you the center of the world and showers you with praise. It's why a lot of them, which to remind you existed as light novels first, are written in first person to put you front and center in everything that's happening. These stories are written for the very tired Japanese salaryman in the middle of his 2-hour commute to work at 6 AM in the morning, whose only source of entertainment is his phone, and the Japanese youth who feel like they don't quite fit into the mold of what is expected of their society. It's why we have isekai like Parallel World Pharmacy, I've been killing slimes for 300 years, and Finding Life in Another World. These are all stories that deal with a main character who dies from overwork at their toxic office job, only to reincarnate into another world and choose to take life slow. It's quite interesting seeing the difference in how isekai geared towards older people take more slice of life approaches, while the ones targeted towards younger people are more adventurous in their stories. But no matter what approach they take, they all
Overlord. Overlord is about grief and loss and lost chances and connections.
Yeah, the end of something that mattered a lot to you. Yeah.
And never getting it back and having to make do with
what whole motivation is, finding his guildmates, seeing if they're around, not finding them,
and then deciding to leave a legacy behind for others and whatnot.
It's again, just what can I say other than he's just generalizing. And again,
badly.
Stories they're written for these people, right? Like he's acting. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Artists can, in fact, create art that serves itself, right? They can create a piece of work that is, hey, I think it would be cool to make a thing based on my D&D stories, Ellie. I'm going to make a story based on my D&D stories. And then, oh, look, people like it, right? It doesn't always have to be this, cynical, oh, I meticulously looked at the ratings and what demographics think about things and I asked a chat GPT to write me an isekai based on the statistics, which ironically enough, I don't know if you saw the news, there was a case of there was some light novel or whatever competition or something, and the winner was, it turned out it was like an AI generated thing, and they had to it won the competition, and so they had to rescind all of the fucking awards, and it was gonna get a publishing deal or whatever, and they had to rescind it. Yeah, and it's a bit of a controversy at the moment. I'm not going to get into a whole AI discussion, right? But I'm bringing that up more as not every artist is doing shit specifically to appeal to certain demographics. Sometimes, and a lot of the times, it's, the artist likes a thing, they want to see more of the thing, so they're going to create stuff that is inspired by the things that they like, right? They want to create more of what they like because they're not getting it, right? They're not getting the hyper-specific thing that they like, They're not getting more of that in the world, so they create more of it in the world. And if it gets popular, it's usually just because, it's well written, or there are other people that share the same interest and they watch it or read it, right? It's not. I hate this mentality that so many anti-tubers and people online have, where everything has to be this like cynical, fucking think tank driven, clearly just aiming for demographics type, right? And the other thing that he's also not considering is that a lot of these stories are probably created by those worked to death salaryman, right? Like, they do their work, and then they get home. They get home and they spend what little free time they do have, like, typing up like this fun little story or whatever that they're making, and then they publish it, right? Like, it does it again. It's 2026. We got to change the fucking mindset here, right? We got to cynicism is dead. Hope. Inject the hope into the bloodstream. Hopium, Ellie. We are on hopium in 2026. No more cynicism.
Tell that to all those Half-Life 3 people.
Yeah. The hopium. We're gonna have the hopium. You're gonna hook me up to the hopium machine, right? Naretsu is on his hope. We're on the hope arc, right?
It would be interesting because we having last season was a bit of a let's say
it was a chill season, right? It was a chill season.
Slow some shows, but now we have like big hour-long premiere of Sentence to Be Hero with hype animations and
and we're gonna talk about that in a bit, but like there's a lot going on, but let's continue. Let's see what
of individualism to some degree, and I think that's pretty cool. It's just a shame that a lot of them aren't all that good, which has caused the genre as a whole to be seen as nothing but slop. Still, that doesn't stop people from enjoying them. Hell, look at me on Failure Frame, the isekai that spurred me into making this very video. That, and all the positive words from you guys. What started out as me going into this anime with the pure intention of ripping it apart, ended in me genuinely being invested in it despite all its flaws. I'm not going to delve too deep into it as I already did in that video, which you should totally check out after this, but as someone who has lived a pretty peaceful life with very little friction that would spur me to seek revenge against those who had wronged me, and just being generally lazy, I found myself gripped by Mimori's resolve to punish the goddess who had put him in this awful situation. I found myself rationalizing his actions and telling myself I would have done the same. The thrill of seeking revenge was what hooked me. Not the lore or the characters, but the sensation it gave me. I started to imagine what manner of passive-aggressive attitude I'd give to the teachers of my primary school who had punished me for one mundane reason or the other. Okay, story time. One time I was punished for walking in between two teachers who were having a conversation right in the middle of
the actual reason for the video.
I don't need your life story, bro, but okay, listen. I'm glad that you found an isekai that you like. Okay,
yeah,
I'm glad you like the show. We like shows, we are show enjoyers on this cast, right? We like the shows, but this is what does this have to do with collectivism? Right?
He was punished by the collective teachers and not fitting into the society.
And now he's become collectivism man. He hunts the collectivism. But anyway, let's wrap her up.
The hallway and gave no space at the side to pass. And Kid Me was in a hurry to return to class, so the moment I passed through them, I was held back and forced to do this punishment we call riding a bike, which is where you squat and stretch your arms out, putting intense focus on your core. I was there for what felt like almost an hour, and after I was released and returned to class, I was punished again. I held that moment in my chest up until this very day.
Yeah, that sucks. Get over it.
I cannot remember any punishment.
I can't even remember a lot of the shit happened in high school, but you get over it. You get over it. It doesn't matter. And God, this is a bit of a tangent, but a lot of the problems with like online shit is people that have just mentally never fucking left high school, right? They're just stuck permanently in high school mode where it's like the tiniest like inconvenient infraction or unfairity that's happened, right, is just it lingers with them forever and they never get over it. They just never get over it. Like, I'm sorry, bro, that happened to you, but it like what I don't know how old this guy is, right? But like if it happened when you were like 16 and now you're like 26, it's like 10 years later, it's like grow up.
I have one.
Get over it.
I have one funny story that I will carry with me for a long time. Not because it's because it's very funny. I was a cashier in a store, right? I see a customer over there having a bad time. He's not getting what he wants. I cannot hear him, but I see him over there talking to a colleague, and he's not getting whatever he wants. So Naretsu, as a good boy that I am, I'm saying, well, let me at least be happy and inviting, open, so he at least has some positive experience to end whatever he didn't get off of him. So I say from, oh, hi, hi, not sir, but translations, right? Hi, and then he looks at me. He's angry, and he goes, "You don't say hi. You say good morning, sir. You won't get far in your life. You."
Oh no, life.
I have 100 stores across the entire Netherlands, and all my cashiers say good morning, sir. And that was very funny.
Yeah. But again, it's not like you're carrying that with you to like, oh, that guy.
Oh no.
Fucking God, evil.
I mean, if I ever would write a serious story in Retsu, I might put him in, because I think just that it's a very funny thing that happened to me once.
Yeah, it's but again, it's like these guys are stuck with having these things, just like because I remember there was a thing on Twitter a while ago where people were going, "Oh, the dude bro gamers, and dude bro games suck because dude bros called me a slur in high school or whatever." And it's like, dude, just grow up. Like, just fucking grow up. Like, come on, it's not a big deal.
For those
right?
people, it
like,
might have happened last week, Naretsu. You don't know.
Oh, maybe. I mean, they could just all be fucking kids. I don't fucking know, but like, again, if you're in your 20s and you still give a fuck about shit that happened in high school, then you've lost your way. You've lost your way. That's my opinion. But anyway, let's finish. We've got like 3 minutes, so let's get started.
So imagine if I had seen Failure Frame as a kid back then. I don't think I would be the same Brett you all know. My example just goes to show how easy it is to fall into the trap that is Isekai. You may see yourself as immune to its propaganda, but keep in mind that you are in the minority. Isekai, much like YouTube Kids Brain Rot, is more interested in selling you a sensation rather than a literary experience. It's why the main character is so overpowered and glazed. It's why they keep doing tricks on it. It's why the side characters never have some kind of backstory, and it's why most MCs never express any real desires to return to their world. Because if they...
This is all bullshit. This is all bullshit. He's just fucking like, yep. This is the stuff that people say on Twitter, right? Like this
about
is just
Isekai, not even personal seen it, but just what I heard people say about it.
This is just the meme, right? This is the perception, right? The meme perception of what something is, right? But
if they did, that would break the immersion. Now, while modern Isekai has become a genre flooded with trash, we do have some few gems that have been able to break out of the stereotype while still playing into the genre's conventions, as well as properly conveying that theme of individualism. At the top of my head, we have series like ReZero, Mushoku Tensei, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Overlord, hell, Even fucking kamikatsu are all stories that are able to give good narratives.
Yeah, yeah. All isekai is fucking slop and bad and evil,
Unless
except
they're
these ones.
individualists.
Except the pre-approved, r/anime or fucking 4chan, whatever, fucking like collective, collectively agreed upon good quote unquote ones, right? Like that's the key here. It's like, God.
No, I will stand for. I mean, I don't even have to say that I'm not going to defend every isekai because bad shows, series
Like
exist.
bad isekais exist. Bad shows exist, right? It's not. Yeah,
But
of
there are
course.
plenty of
Of course.
mediocre isekai that I find fun enough. Eighth Son, generic
Yeah.
Japanese guy goes to medieval, slightly magical fantasy Europe, and the focus is, hey, how were those medieval politics actually? How did they go? And I suppose some history nerds wrote about how medieval political intrigue actually worked, and he wrote a thing about it, and I learned something from it. More Otome Games, whatever, mob character, whatever the title is in English. Fun show where the guy is a side character in an Otome game, isekai into it, and he has to be kind of just playing in the background for all the heroines of the actual game, and having fun there. Good show. And in other shows that were, which you could categorize as slop, were still fun. So who cares about whether or not it's in this little list? Good shows or mediocre shows can still be fun to you.
Yeah.
Imagine
exactly.
that.
Imagine having fun, Elliot. Imagine,
Oh, no.
imagine having fun. God, yeah.
Mostly because they're more focused on the plot and the characters and do their best to flesh out their worlds, rather than trying to sell you a sensation. Some of them still make use of the tropes you'd expect, and some of them have parts of themselves that are hard to like, but in general, they're all just around better than their contemporaries.
Eminence in Shadow is very hard to like. I kind of find it a very annoying main character.
Yeah, but I fucking love it!
How dare you, Neretsu? He's such a lame loser.
How dare I enjoy things? How dare I enjoy the things, Ellie? It's so,
I see Isekai as a genre who has a lot of potential hiding beneath the surface. A lot of new stuff that comes out really has some great ideas behind them, and you can tell authors are trying their best to innovate on the genre. It's a shame that they just lack the skills to execute them properly. So next time you see an isekai announced and you wonder who it's for, now you know. Though low-key, I'm still not convinced there isn't some kind of money laundering scheme going on. And that'll be it for this video. There was some other stuff regarding the topic I wanted to talk about, but found it hard finding the right place to put them into and would still have the video flow pretty well. So I will be putting all those jumbled up thoughts in a separate video that will be up on Patreon in the next couple of days. Okay. If you do decide to support me over there, thank you. And as always, this has been your very favorite slice of bread. Stay toasty.
Alright, there you go.
Isekai slop op zijn best.
Yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't a great video.
I liked the first half-ish when he was talking history and
he did a okay job in the first half. Of course, we still criticized some parts, but it was pretty okay. Completely lost us in the second half because he just kept doing the generalizations over and over again.
We went hard or in depth about whether or not something is collectivist or not, but I can't even really say if we were, because his definition was such lame surface level. Oh, if you care for somebody, that's collectivist. If you want to be good, then you're individualist.
It's so broad that it becomes useless, is kind of how I would put it, right? Like, it's almost like, if everyone's a hero, then nobody is, right? Type logic where if everything has collectivism in it, then what even is the point in defining it, right?
And then he shows
if everything,
and then he
if everything has individualism and collectivism in it, then what is the point? And that's why you need to make a distinction between the prescriptive and the descriptive. Because if you wanted to do a video that was okay, what is the collectivist ideological message of Spy Family, right? And then you actually could do okay, here is what collectivism as an ideology means, right? Here is the actual philosophy behind it. Let's analyze the show's setting and the world and the characters and see if they fit into that mold, and we can have an actual discussion about that, right? There would be an interesting agreement, disagree, like what we had with Mob Psycho, right? You could have an interesting agreement, disagreement, lay out the foundations, lay out the points about the show. But because he doesn't really because he's so vague on what his actual what he's talking about, right? It makes it really difficult because one moment it's almost like he's talking about ideological collectivism, and then in the other moment it's like, oh no, family, just having a family is collectivist, right? And yeah, at that point, then it becomes completely worthless as a word, right? It becomes completely worthless as a definition. It doesn't
And then
matter.
at the end, right, when he shows his list of isekai that he likes and therefore isekai good, he says there are these. I'm pretty sure he says that these isekais are individualists. So when isekai are individualists, those are the good isekai because. But then he shows Mushoku Tensei, and what is Mushoku Tensei? Self-improvement. Oh, that's collectivist. What about helping other people? Not being self-absorbed in your own misery and pity, and then caring for others and buying a house, integrating with the society, and all that. What is that collectivist? Then we get into this weird, barely superficial. We're just floating above, actually.
Yeah.
Discussion about whether or not or something is individualist or collectivist.
I mean, I will say at least the video had more substance in it than the last one we covered.
Yeah.
in terms of a video for us to cover, it was a lot more interesting and we got a lot more out of it. So I'll give him that, right? But in terms of the actual video quality, yeah, this was not great. I think he what he needed more sources. Obviously, he needed to actually cite sources. He needed more backing than what he was saying. And maybe a bit more research into the topic. Doing a little bit less of the speaking in generalities. Oh, all of Japan is like this. All of
Japan is overworking
in
past.
Yeah,
past work.
nothing has changed since the 1980s, right?
1920s.
Yeah, nothing has ever changed, right? There's a lot of stuff that he needs to improve on. I think it was an okay, it's okay. It's not horrifically bad, but it is definitely a bad video, and I think our man needs to do a bit of reassessment.
We could ask Joe.
Anywho,
he's living in Japan these days. We can ask him.
Yeah. You can go chat with Joe. But anyway, I'm gonna grab another drink. You line up the old animus, and we'll talk about the hype of the season.
Yep. Gotta get the right screens prepared. Pressing these buttons is a lot of work. He wouldn't know. He wouldn't understand. Ah. Been a while.
Okay.
First actual weekend after getting my now that I have realized office work is still I'm still getting used to this new life. Still having to trying to fit into this new office work life that I am now getting.
Yeah. So, where do we want to start?
Well, I got two lists, and I already forgot in which page I got one or the other. So just
all right. Well, whatever. You just bring something up, and we'll
all right.
kind of see what
the smaller
we
one.
get.
Oh, this is all my stuff,
Um.
basically. Except this.
Okay. Well. All right. Let's start with Hero because I did watch Simp Simp Man. Man simping for his
Oh, did you
priestess
watch
waifu.
that?
I did
Ah.
watch that one. It was on my list. So that
Oh,
one
sorry. Didn't
seems
catch it.
alright. It seems okay. Um, it's not. I don't think. I don't have a lot to say about it really,
No,
actually,
it's
because it
it's
does.
it's it's cute. It does. I didn't realize it. I didn't know it was Isekai. Our main character
Yeah,
is,
it turns out it's an isekai. Yeah, because the guy is like a reincarnated
but it's
guy.
like Isekai that we are halfway in. It
Yeah,
feels
the
more.
isekai. Yeah, we've skipped like 10 episodes or something.
It is interesting
You
that
know.
that it's we need to we need this guy to be way overpowered. How do we do that? Oh, he's isekai. Isekai.
Yeah.
That's not that he is some special innate thing and that whatever. No, the explanation is he is actually isekai. That's why he's so powerful. I find it a little bit funny as a trope shorthand to explain why he's so strong. Because otherwise he would be the Demon King himself. Because
Yeah.
for the audience, Heroes Party is going to kill the Demon Lord, but they have to defeat this lieutenant over here, lieutenant guy, demon guy. But the lieutenant guy just beat these heroes super easily. Turns out, but he doesn't want to kill them, so he just dumps them out into the nearest human village. Turns out that he's way stronger than the Demon Lord because he is isekai and he has all these, cheat abilities. And the heroes that he's fighting, those heroes are stronger than the Demon Lord. So to circumvent some things and to get some alone time with the priestess girl, he allows the other heroes to get by and kill the Demon Lord because he doesn't really care for the Demon Lord and, going out and killing humans every now and again.
Yeah. As soon as he lays eyes on
Priest girl.
his on his waifu,
He's making
like,
excuses to not kill them and spend more time with her, and then the Demon Lord has ordered me to kill them. You heroes, you can pass. Let me have a one-on-one with the priestess
no,
girl.
yeah. I need to. Yeah, I need to talk. I only the priestess girl can stay or whatever, right?
Mm. And then he says,
and then he,
I like you, please.
will you go out with me? And she's just like, what the fuck are you? What do you mean? What are you talking about? What do you mean? And then she rejects him, and he's just like, well, I guess I'll die then. Gets rejected once, fucking dies. Because he's just like she's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, and he's like, all right, whatever, and she's like, what? Oh. Wait, she's like, wait, you're fucking for real?
Wait, why? Actually depressed? Oh no.
You're actually, oh no. And so he ends up kind of becoming an adventurer, but he's rising through the ranks way too fast, and he needs to calm down because she's worried because they meet up later.
Oh yeah, and of course
and
the heroes kill the Demon Lord because they are way stronger than the Demon Lord. It's the only reason why the Demon Lord isn't died yet, because our guy is way stronger.
Our guy is super strong, yeah. But basically, yeah, he ends up becoming an adventurer, but he's rising too fast. He's making too much of a name for himself, and it's suspicious. And she's like, we don't want you to get scalped by like another country, because now that the Demon Lord is gone, all the countries are like power vacuum, wartime. And then I did find it funny that the mum is just like, does like the test or whatever, and she's like, oh yeah, you passed the because she's had like a bunch of marriage proposals already. Even the hero himself proposed, and she's like, no, because his whole thing now is he's gonna become like an adventurer worthy of her or whatever. and try and like win her over. So it's okay. I found it funny a little bit.
Yeah.
But this feels like the kind of show that I'm probably gonna drop. I'll keep watching it for now, but it definitely feels like the kind of thing that I'm not like. I'm just gonna stop watching one week.
I cannot disagree. I cannot fight for it that hard. It is cute.
It's the problem. The problem to me is that it's neither really bad or really good. It's kind of middling. Like it's funny. It's got some okay gags in it, but the animation's not really fantastic. It's kind of it's not got like a super interesting hook, right? And
I mean,
is
the
it going to
hand
suffer
painted
from
pastel
the same?
is kind of interesting.
Yeah, the hand painted pastel backgrounds were kind of cool. I did notice that, but like, is it going to suffer from the same problem the Cat Fucker show has, where it has one joke, right? That it just keeps repeating, right? Is it just going to be the same thing over and over again? Is it, is the relationship actually going to grow, and like, is there going to be like stuff that happens that's interesting around that? It's too early to tell, but from the first episode, I'm just sort of like, yeah, that was okay, I guess. That's fine, but it's not really that all that memorable, right? As a show, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So I didn't end up watching the voice actor show.
Hmm.
I have it on my list, but I didn't end up watching it.
I've watched it. It's kind of interesting in that our main protagonist is, I'm looking for no, like the synopsis said, I'm looking for this one girl, this one voice that I was listening to and having conversations with at midnight through the phone. And he's now, he's plotted his way into getting into this school, which is very, social deductioning, doxing, no, not doxing, but getting clues from what she said and what happened, where she would be, narrowing down the school where she should be, and plotted his way into getting into the school. And now he's very brazenly going, all the girls, tell me you love me. Say you love me. I love you. Say that to me, so I can listen to your voice and listen if that sounds correct to me. And so the first episode is kind of fun. So he then makes a speech and says, "All right, all the girls, say you love me right now." And then whenever he hears a girl talking, he goes, no, the intonation is a bit off. And oh yeah, maybe important to mention, Natsu is super rich.
Oh, okay.
He's just rich. He's entitled. He is he is very self-assured, except for the few things which he said during the girl at the girl during the midnight radio two-way radio show, I suppose. And he wants this mystery girl to lead whatever he said because it's embarrassing and doesn't fit his perfect facade personality. So better get rid of that. And the girls don't interest me all that much, unfortunately. They do not grab me. And there are some few interesting things about Naretsu. When we talk, in analog, so we have a nice natural curve with all the spectrums therein and all the frequencies therein. But when you convert it to digital, then it becomes, fixed graph bars about that approximate the natural frequency of the talking voice. So these four girls kind of sound like her, and that's possible because when you would convert their voices into the digital and then play it again on a phone speaker, then they would kind of match the frequency curve graph and all that stuff. So there's a little bit of I think there will be more in the future. The incremency, all the details about what goes into voice work, and I suspect we get like 3 episodes for each of them about what you would do, what you need for their specific voice field, because you got singer, voice actor, announcer, radio, TV presenter, and YouTube host, basically. So we will suspect we will get more out of that. But like I said, I don't know if I'll keep watching it because they don't the personalities don't interest me all that much.
Yeah. It was one of the ones, like I said, that I had kind of on my list of ones, but I didn't get to it because, like I said, I've been busy this week because new phone and getting my stuff sorted and having other things to do. So I never. It was one of the ones that sadly kind of got dropped. So before we get into the big hitter on the list, what's this rom-com one that you've got here? This little rom-commy one.
All right, Naretsu. This one is funny. This one is interesting. It has tension. It has intrigue. Naretsu. The thing is, Naretsu, all of them think that the other one is not interested in them. Or I suppose the 4 girls don't believe that the guy is interested in them, and the guy says, "There's no way that this girl likes me. That is too much like a romantic comedy." So it's not real.
But you are in a romantic comedy.
And then he wants to avoid romantic comedy tropes, right? The girls do romantic comedy tropes. They try to enact romantic comedy tropes, and then the guy wants to avoid it, and then the girls go, "Oh, so he doesn't like me that much." Or, "Oh no, so that isn't a thing." So we got like childhood friend, right? Childhood friend comes in through the balconies because, Japanese, they have no sense of building restrictions in the sense of having 2 balconies right beside each other, in neighboring houses. So this blue-haired girl in front just goes and sleeps in the boy's bed because she can do that because childhood friends, she's been jumping over onto the roof, onto the balcony since forever. And she does this now, and she does this on purpose, sneaky, and tries to get panty shots going, get boob grabs going, get flustered grabs, hugs going, and the guy denies it, and the conclusion is, "Oh, that girl isn't that interested in me." And when the girl says, "Etchy," the guy goes, "Oh, I better stop that." So that's the childhood, the neighborhood childhood friend going. Then we got the tsundere, and it is kind of, it's funny when the tsundere goes, "No, damn, I'm fighting with him. That means that he doesn't like me." And then the guy goes, "Oh, she's so annoyed and irritated with me. That means she doesn't like me."
Right.
And whenever when tsundere sees that Oshanami childhood friend, I'll try to Japanese and then I've failed and I'm not going to do it again. When tsundere sees that childhood friend is making moves, she gets super shaken and insecure and gets all irritated and defensive and abrasive, and then childhood friend goes, "Oh, so tsundere doesn't like him because she's being mean." and I suspect that every single one of them goes around to do this. But in the meantime, they all want him to grab breast, get panty shots, and all that stuff, and start romantic comedies. Anyway, I had fun. That's why I'm repeating myself a bit and going into details.
Yeah, no, it sounds all right. It sounds like a good time. So,
hey, 1 hour,
big hitter time.
2
This is gonna
episode
be
length,
the
1 hour-ish first episode.
But well, not only that, but fucking fantastic. Absolutely fucking fantastic. I think if they can keep up the quality, right? Because that's going to be the question, right? Was it, they just poured all of the energy into the fucking movie length?
Are we going to get an Umizaki?
Right? Yeah, are we gonna get jinxed in the next episode and it's just generic slop, right? That's kind of the problem. So what I liked about this, right, was the pacing was fucking phenomenal.
Oh
right?
yeah.
It is you are immediately thrust in and it doesn't waste your time. It's okay, here's the setting, here's what's going on, here's your characters, you got your thief,
weird
grimdark,
monster infected.
Yeah, grimdark, corruption, monsters, big thing. You know, but it's very, like, at no point did it feel like I was getting, like, exposition, right? At no point did it feel like I was like, they're just talking about, this is the... No, it's all very diegetic. It's, okay, this is what's going on, here's the characters, here's what their motivations kind of are, here's, like, a general idea, and then it builds upon that as the episode kind of goes on. And it was really, like, it didn't feel like it's a 1 hour episode, but it doesn't fucking feel like it. You know, it doesn't feel like you're watching a 1 hour episode. It does feel like you're watching an actual, like, well-paced, right, with a proper arc that's going on, with actual, like, you know, at no point did I feel extremely confused, right?
Yeah, there was one exposition when they, talked about, oh yeah, if you die, then you get resurrected, but you lose some memories and you lose your sense of self.
But it was very, very quick though, and it wasn't like, it was, to me, it wasn't like, it felt very well paced, right? It felt very well paced. The animation also really good. I will say there were a few points where I think the CG was a bit because the
when
issue
the trolls
is,
attacked, I suppose.
Well, a little bit. Well, the problem with CG is, bad CG to me is when you can very clearly, like, be like, oh, that's a CG frog, right? Like, that doesn't really fit in the world, right? And there were a few moments like that where it's like, oh, it's very clearly CG, right? It doesn't really jive well with the style of the rest of the animation, right? And it did kind of take me out of it a little bit, but it's almost like I'm grasping at things to criticize, you know? Like, it's such a minor, like, it only happens once or twice, and it's only like a little minor animation related thing, because the rest of it,
I'm not going
it looks gorgeous.
I didn't remember. Gorgeous. I didn't remember the few CG frogs moments because the next moment he's throwing exploding knives.
Yeah, it only happens very briefly, and it's not like the only reason I bring it up is because I noticed it. You know, like, if I didn't notice it, then it wouldn't be a problem. But because I noticed it, I kind of was like, yeah, this is like a black. It's like the tiniest of stains, right? The tiniest of little things that I felt was a little bit off, right? But the rest of the animation, no, it was fucking spot on gorgeous. I think they really did do a really good job on this. Overall.
Yeah, and a very good character motion, movement, momentum, weight behind them. They walked with, sways in their steps, or crawling backwards, kicking yourself backwards on the ground, groveling, all that stuff. Very good. And very good character introductions. You get a very good idea who these characters are. Oh, he's running with something. He's a bit cowardice and crying a lot. This guy just jumps.
Then you find out he's a thief, right? And he's got clipped. He just steals shit.
Kleptomaniac bastard.
He's a kleptomaniac. He just steals. He doesn't even know what the fuck he stole. He just stole the casket because it was there.
It looked important. Better steal it. And then the next guy jumps in. All right, he's a big fighter and just can jump in from wherever. Bam. And who's this? Oh, this girl in the coffin. Oh wait, she walks with confidence. Oh wait,
she's a goddess. What the fuck is a goddess? Oh, it's a weapon. Oh, aren't goddesses usually like whale-like things or whatever? And then it's like, no, they come in different forms and stuff, right? Again, this is what I mean about the pacing in the exposition, right? Is like it all is very natural and very like not wasting your time on bullshit, right? It is. We need to get you up to speed so that we can get you to what you want to see, which is the fun fights and the cool shit going on, right? But in that though, even if we didn't have anything else, right? Still fantastic. But on top of that, now you have a conspiracy mystery element, right?
Yeah.
Like we find out, oh, our guy was actually a holy knight, but he killed a goddess. Why did he kill a goddess? Oh, the goddesses can get corrupted by the shit.
Oh, absolutely not, Neretsu. The temple denies this.
No, absolutely not. He's lying. He's bullshitting. We didn't order you to go do that fight. Oh no, it's totally not a setup, right? Oh, but sentenced to be a hero. Oh no. Oh yeah. So there is. It's layers of just fucking phenomenal shit, right? Like, you've got this interesting fantasy world where heroes are kind of seen as, like, criminals that have been seen. It's like a punishment.
I just want to say that when I read, the tiniest bit of exposition of heroes are doomed to die in battle and be resurrected on the bed of, whatever it said. But I just felt it looked like, oh, so they're Dark Souls protagonists.
Yeah. They lose their humanity when they get in memories and stuff when they get resurrected too.
And they are just doomed to fight forever and be resurrected.
Yeah. Kind of a little bit Dark Souls, yeah. But again, there's interesting layers to it, right? It is an interesting kind of reversal in how it's being handled, right? Because typically you think of it as like, oh, the heroes are like the good guys, and they're like they're the cools. But in this world, it's like, no, you're a fucking criminal, and the other characters, like the Holy Knights, they look down on these guys and treat them like shit, and think that because they're criminals, right? Like we meet the female knight girl later on, the black-haired girl, right? The long-haired girl, and she's kind of, very dismissive of the hero guy, right? And it's like, oh, why the fuck are you here, right? We so and so and so and so. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic opener. I am hooked completely. I am definitely down for this. This is fucking great. We haven't even talked about the cute fucking goddess girl who wants head pats. We haven't even
praise and affirmations.
And the interesting duality of where you've got this guy who clearly, due to what we find out at the end of the episode, killing his past goddess that he was in charge of, right? That he made a pact with, right? And now he's made a pact with this new goddess because it was really the only choice available to them, right? How is this going to affect kind of the relationship and how they want to kind of portray this? What are the repercussions of this going to be, essentially, right? I am. It is a fantastic. Like, even if you don't watch the rest of the show, like just this one episode if this was a standalone OVA, right? With no promise of anything else, I would be like, even if it ends on like, oh yeah, there's more, right? Like, clearly because there is, I would be pretty satisfied watching this on its own, right? Like, it was a very, very, very enjoyable experience. I had a great time. Yeah,
Powers looked
absolutely
cool.
fantastic. Yeah, the powers looked cool. Like, you've got like magic, but it's ran off this like, electricity.
It looked like
The
Skaven.
wands.
Skaven guns.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, that was what I thought too. It looks like Skaven tech. Yeah, like they're using like Skaven tech.
Skaven
The
artillery.
demon corruption is portrayed as like this fungus.
Yeah.
That's like it touches things and then corrupts them and turns them into like monstrous versions of the thing that it touches. It is like humanity's been at war with this like demonic corruption for like centuries and stuff,
And
right?
the
And it's like,
idea of, back in the day they were fighting the 11th Demon Lord, and this is like the 40th.
Now we're on like fucking, the 13th or some shit, right? Like,
no, the 38th.
30th, yeah, the 30th or something. Yeah, like it just keeps coming back. So like, yeah, no, it is like, it's hard not to just glaze the fuck out of it, because there's so, like, outside of like the most nitpickiest of nitpicks, like the CG, right? Like the tiniest of me having to like scrounge for something to have a problem with. It was just great. It was just really, really good. It's just a good show. Highly recommended. It's going to be a great time. But again, it's all hinges on if the quality dips or not, right? Because if we get to the next episode and it's like, oh no, no, the budget's disappeared, right?
There has to be a trailer that is more than just the first episode, and we suppose we can if we really want to know, we could glimpse at it and see if like
maybe
the mystery episode 4 still looks good.
So Glaze hour for Sentence to be a Hero over. I noticed you added Digimon to.
Because I realized that it didn't include it. I think.
Okay, so Digimon this week was mostly just because we just had like kind of the conclusion to like the first arc, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're basically getting into, here's the rival team. Because they work as like bounty hunters, right?
Yeah.
So here's the rival. They stole the bounty from the team. They're being backed by one of the like stars that's based on an element or whatever, and da 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 da. So some pretty typical stuff going on in Digimon right now. Like the next arc is probably going to be the other team that's all militaristic and doesn't care about things, and it's all about duty and versus family and so yeah, typical stuff going on in Digimon right now. So I don't really have too much to say about it other than it's good. I'll keep watching it. It's fine. It's interesting to kind of keep up with. So anyway, next slide. What do we got? What are we
let's see if I have everything still. Oh, come on. Button doesn't.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! The buttons.
Oh, because I'm in this window thing. All right.
Oh, you did have Digimon on the other slide.
Oh, did I? Oh, damn.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go from Digimon to Fire Force, because I watched that last night. Fire Force is basically just picking off exactly where it left off. Our boy woke up from seeing the real world, essentially, or the past. He is, and so on, such and such. Two things. One, he's been out for like 3 months since that happened. Yeah. And while he was out, he was a completely different person. He had changed into a completely different personality. And he was a bit of a dick. And to cut the long story short, the hypothesis about what happened is that he transformed into the version of him that everyone kind of perceived him as being, right? Shinra, the fucking parent killer, bad boy, demonic entity, right? Type guy. And this manifested, he got tattoos and bleached his hair, and he hit the sister. He hit the nun alley. He was an asshole and a total dick. but he comes back and he has no memory of any of this, right? And so he comes back and is basically like, shit, fuck, this is a problem. And he's freaking out because he's like, I would never get tattoos or do any of this. And the hypothesis is like it was his doppelganger from like the alternative world, right? Took control of his body, essentially. Because they've established that human combustion is like when the doppelganger and the world, the normal version, like merge together and they combust and turn into the demon.
Yeah.
So they think that what happened was like his normal self went into like the state that allowed him to see the real world, right? And then now he's kind of come back around. Yeah, like they've swapped places again, basically. So kind of interesting. Basically, a lot of what's been happening is there's now like a bunch of the pillars have shown up, and as the pillars show up, people's powers have been getting stronger. The alternate world is starting to probably get closer and closer to the real world. And overall, yeah, the opening was very crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in that OP. It's probably spoilerific territory, but you know, it's pretty interesting. But yeah, so overall, we're getting right back into it. There's probably going to be big fights next episode because there's like a guy who's probably coming back. Yeah, Fire Force was really good.
Yeah,
you know, we're back in good times. So with Fate Strange Fake, was the episode that aired just the same episode as the first episode that I watched like a month ago?
What I have to say, I didn't catch this episode. Too busy.
Because like I saw that it was episode 1, and I already have episode 1 marked as completed. Right, because that was like they had because it started in like January of fucking.
Oh yeah. All right. So did it start?
Because they had like the first episode that aired ages ago that I watched. Right. Again, yeah, it's like, is that the same episode as the one that aired recently, or was that a new episode, or is now the second? So I didn't actually watch because I don't know what the fuck's going on.
So
basically,
did Arthur show up at the opera?
Arthur showed up at the end of the episode that I watched,
and he says, right? "I am Arthur, and I'm sorry for." Yeah, so they just showed the for episode 1 again. So
I didn't need to watch whatever the fuck basically. Yeah, because that was my thing. I was like, is this just gonna be a repeat, or am I gonna have to like watch whatever the new one is? Right. That was kind of my thing. Because yeah, they had like Whispers of Dawn, which was like 2 years ago, and then they had like episode 1, but that then like was that like it got confusing. I will.
There's like I know there's like an prelude OVA thing. There's like episode 0, but episode 1 aired last year, and they aired it again because it would be very stupid if they aired episode 2.
It would be very stupid, yeah. So now episode 2 is picking off where that last episode that aired a year or 2 ago. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so we don't have to talk about that, I guess, because we've already talked about it. When it aired originally. So what's Rollover and Die? How's that going? Because that was another one I had on my list, but I never got around to. But
so I knew a little bit of it, and it is it's I know suffers. It's a bit harsh, I suppose, but it has the setup. We're setting up right now. Episode first.
Oh, okay.
So, girl is being a hero is something that happens when you have your special ability thing, and she has a special ability, so she's a hero. Special thing. However, turns out, Retsu, that all her stats are 0. and she is actually reflected in her stamina and strength and all that stuff. So she's kind of useless to the hero's party in that sense, but she makes do with help doing chores. But Naretsu, she gets betrayed. She gets sold off because she's worthless.
Oh no! Oh no!
And she gets a big slave brand on her face and gets sold. But then the slaver goes, all you, and some other slaves, she's included, all you are trash. You're not even worth putting on the market again. Especially you, hero. I bought you because you were a hero, but you're actually super trash and just die, I suppose. And it turns out, she has a special ability called Reversal. And it turns out, Naretsu, that things that are cursed makes her stronger.
Right. So it's like inverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So healing damages her, cursing makes her stronger, etc. And so there, kind of, that setup, maybe is a bit contrived, I guess. That Slaver has a cursed sword in there because he got scammed again and bought a epic, ranking sword, but it was cursed. So he threw it in with
that.
But he threw it in with the slaves because the slaves are equally worthless. Hey, haha! The slaves picked up the cursed sword and it killed them. Haha. For his own amusement, but then the girl with the reversal thing picks it up and smashes the thing, breaks out, and starts the adventure with fellow escaped slavey who has been a slave her entire life, so she can for now only conceptualized our protagonist as a master. So for now, yes, she's the slave to our, the abandoned and betrayed hero has a slave girl that only conceptualized her as a master. Meanwhile, Naretsu, the hero party that sold her off to slavery and said everybody hates you, you're better off that. There's one fellow member of the party that came from the same village. Our protagonist was told, "Oh, she hates you too." Actually, no. She was totally fine with her being there, even though all the stats were 0. She was the girl that is now still in the heroes party was told, "Oh no, she went home. She was a drag and she didn't want to be a bother." But Naretsu, the guy that sold our protagonist off into slavery and is now lying to the girl that's in the heroes party, just wants to fuck her, own her.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. As you do.
As you do. So just isolate her, gaslight her, and groom her into being a obedient wife sex slave. I guess that's the
lovely.
That's our
lovely. Yeah, lovely. That's how it goes. Yeah, that's
and the show is somewhat more interesting, and in that she's made to be worthless. It's mentioned all the time. She has a bit of a complex, I suppose, as far as the show shows, about being trash and worthless and being called that. But at the same time, everybody just wants to abuse or use her in a way. And the OP has this has the thing about her being devoured by zombies all the time. And she letting the zombies devour her and eating her alive and tearing of her bits of her feels very, thematic. And also she has like a zombie, not zombie mask, it's skull mask, so she always is also dead inside, and she's being eaten by other zombie type, creatures. And then the OP kind of ends, and the heroes, the hero party that abandoned her now kind of take the place of the zombies. Right? So it feels like that the world curses and consumes her. And she is also cursed because she's wearing a kind of a nominizing mask. So I'm feeling themes, Naretsu. The first episode might be a bit setup-y and not necessarily exposition, setup-y, and a bit contrived-y. But I'm feeling themes.
You're feeling interesting themes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I might give it a watch. Like I said, I've got it downloaded. I just haven't gotten around to it, so maybe I'll put it on the list of things to watch later. Sounds pretty good. So I'll talk. I don't know. I'll talk about Blind Guy because I watched both episodes of that. And sort of interesting, but at the same time, might be another one of those ones that I kind of drop. It's more interesting for the fact that he doesn't really start off overpowered in a sense, and I feel like the story is a lot more about disability and overcoming disability than it is about he's becoming the big mage man, right? Because it starts off very much like he's blind because of the hero's scar, because he's the descendant of the hero who got cursed when he defeated like the demon lord or whatever, and because he lost he got disabled when he defeated the demon lord, and subsequent generations all have sometimes one gets born that has some kind of disability, right? Maybe they're born
an
without
injury
an arm or
from
a
curse to have the scary injuries of the demon lord,
or something like that. And this guy in particular just so happened to be born blind, right? So it starts with him being all kind of like, I'm just a hindrance to everyone because I'm blind, typical disability related stuff. But then he kind of learns about magic, and his magic teacher is teaching him, you can make like these little balls of water, and she's describing to him the ball of water is like about the size of an eyeball, and that causes him to go, maybe I can create my own eyes out of magic. And so he goes through this whole arc of learning about magic, learning about different types of how to do stuff, but it's not like he has a montage, right? And suddenly he can see. He is still blind as of the end of episode 2, right? It's more you're kind of watching his journey as it's like, I need to be able to figure out, what does color even mean to a blind person, right? Oh, wait a minute, I when that water ball went past the apple, I kind of got like this weird feeling. Maybe that's what the color red feels like, and now I can create red water and different colored water, right? And so, right? And so he's slowly kind of gaining these abilities over time, and not in like a overpowered, he's just instantly able to do shit kind of way. It's presented a lot more as an, he's actually, slowly accumulating this knowledge. And while this is all happening, they're kind of like, you need to start going to school, but because we don't really want to put you in school proper, you can just do like the exams, so you only have to go to school like 5 times to do the exams
or something.
Yeah, or something like that, right? So you can because it's presented as like he just has to do the exams, and it's only because it's like, he's part of the royal family, or like a line of the royal family, and such. He's already got an arranged marriage with a waifu, and the waifu is originally like, I'm gonna get married to this blind guy. He's super depressed. He can't even see me. But then she reunites with him now that he's got his magic stuff, and he's full of optimism, hope injection. hope restored, right? And now she's like super into him because he's now
not
not
depressed.
just he's now super optimistic now. And he can kind of like hold his own, right? And so so essentially that to me the show is interesting for me because of my disability backstories, right? In my field of expertise as a tutor for the disabled and whatnot, right? There is like some interesting stuff here around that, but the animation is kind of so. It's not it's not very like it's not very standout, right?
Mm.
It is a little bit generic. It's not super like it's not super fascinating, but at the same time I think that the hook is pretty good, like the whole idea of let's have a disabled character and then actually follow them as they grow and learn to overcome the disability instead of just let's
Magic
just
it.
fix it immediately. Magic it, right? That is a lot more interesting, right? Because, maybe at the end of the series or the show, he'll be able to make his eyes out of water and he can see, right? But as it stands right now, he's just really pretty. He is a savant with magic, but it's not portrayed as like he can immediately just fucking do shit, right?
Mm.
There is a very funny thing where we get introduced to kind of like the school bully, who is the brother of the girl that he is
Engaged
arranged
to.
marriage
Yeah.
to, and he's a bit of a dick, and he's like doing a comfort, oh, you big hot shot, think you're so cool with your water magic and your fucking my sister, and he does this thing where he like manipulates the water in the cafeteria to make it look like the guy pissed himself. Just materializes a bunch of water on his crotch. I thought that was kind of funny. So it's got its moments, right? It does have its moments, but I do feel like it's probably a very average show, right? If it didn't have like the hook of the disability angle, I probably wouldn't be continuing it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like if it had gone the direction of he's just fucking immediately good with magic and could just see, right? Like if it was immediate, I would just be dropping this now, right? But because it seems to be trying to do like a slow burn kind of deal, where it's more kind of about like, oh, what does it actually mean to be blind? How does it affect your ability to do things? How is he going to overcome these like hurdles, either through using magic or through like using the people around him for help, right? Like how is he gonna, like there is some, and that is the interesting part of it to me, and the fact that it's even bothering to explore those elements of having a disability makes it interesting to me. But on like, if I have to like critique it, biases aside, right? It's not, it's just average. It's kind of similar to the other show we talked about earlier, where it's like, it's not necessarily bad, like the cute girl heroes party one, right? It's not bad, but it's just not fantastic, right? It's kind of middling outside the hook. But we'll see how it goes. It's kind of sad because I compare, like, I think my problem is I'm comparing it a lot to Silent Witch, because they are they're not similar in the hook, right? But they are
No.
similar in the theme. They're similar in, you have a character that's good at magic, and they have like a disadvantage, either social anxiety or, in this case, disability, and the show is kind of about them, both overcoming this and learning to overcome it, but also maybe there's some other stuff on the side. We haven't gotten to like other stuff on the side with this one. Whereas with Silent Witch, you had like the politics and the different characters and their motivations and the different scenarios that happen, and all these like other interesting elements that happened alongside the show. In this one, even with the 2 episodes that we've got, sure, there's like a little bit of politicking where it's like, oh yeah, you're part of you have to do noble stuff because of nobility or whatever, and oh yeah, you might be cursed with the thing, and arranged marriages, and whatever, but it's nowhere near as like interesting as the stuff going on in Silent Witch, right? And so yeah, it's okay. We'll see if I continue it. but if it ends up being too boring, I'll probably drop it. It's kind of where I'm at with it right now. So anyway, what have we got? We got what's the one at the bottom there?
I'm sorry, I didn't get to Hanakimi. So classic.
Okay, well then, yeah, I didn't watch that either. But I am very fucking interested to talk about Death Games.
I kind of skipped over it.
Very fucking interested to talk about that, because man, we got some. When I say we have heavy hitters this season, I am talking about both fucking Hero and this, right? So I should ask if you watched it first.
No, I didn't.
You should watch it.
Oh, all right.
You should actually watch it, because I was having a discussion about it yesterday with Full and Lolly. Actually, I was having a discussion with them about it, VC, because I kind of needed to like figure out how I was going to talk about this, because it is the kind of show people are either going to really like it or they're going to fucking hate it, because it is very avant-garde artsy, if that makes sense. I kind of compared it. Now, I haven't watched Monogatari, right? And Lolly kind of like was like, nah, this isn't like Monogatari at all. So that comparison didn't really fit. But the reason I described it as being like Monogatari is there's a lot of cuts to, like, you know how Monogatari will do like the cut and then it'll go to like text on the screen, and it will go, you know, there'll be like all these artistic camera angles and, you know, different, you know, very clearly artistically driven directorial decisions. This show has a lot of that. It has a lot of, we're gonna do like big symbolism, shots of wheat fields, real life footage of cars driving down the street while characters are talking about like their dads and stuff. Like big symbolism of things, big, you know. There is a lot of artsy fartsy shit in this show. And you're either going to be into that or you're not, because there's two camps. There's people that are going to be like, what is this fucking symbolism, artsy bullshit, fucking, where's the fights and the gas, and fucking, this isn't a shonen, this isn't fucking Sentenced to Be a Hero with fancy animation and fucking, or you're going to have Ellie, it smells so good. This is the peak of artistic medium, and the camera angles, and this is clearly symbolism for the state of mind of society, and the fucking, my farts, they smell so good. Those are the two camps of people that this show is there's gonna be like very little middle ground, I think, right? You're gonna have people that are like really into it or not into it at all. And I am actually, ironically, one of those people that's kind of in the middle, leaning more towards the fart huffy side of it, because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. So I guess I should maybe talk about actually what happens, right? So basically the premise is essentially you have this character, Shimburi, or however you pronounce it, right? Or Yugi, right? Yugi, so we're in a world where these death games are just kind of a thing, right? And it's treated like kind of a job / thing that you can do to just make money, kind of like prostitution, right? As an allegory, right?
Is it
it's a job
as such?
No, I'm using that because that's the best way I can describe it, right? Think of it this way, right? Like, how do you perceive prostitution? Yes, it's a job, but it's not really a job that a lot of people really want to do. And most people that do end up doing it, like, do it because of circumstances, or, you know, it's just it's a way to make money, right?
Yeah.
So the death games in this world are kind of, from what I gather from the first episode, perceived in the same way. And so the first episode, 40-minute episode, by the way, not an hour, full hour, but a full 40-minute episode, is essentially you following our girl in a death game. It is a whole death game from start to finish. And it starts and I'm going to try and avoid like spoilers because I actually think you should go in without being spoiled. So I'm going to try and avoid kind of sort of a spoilery angle to it. But it's basic. So you get introduced to she wakes up in the death game. She's dressed as a maid, and she's already like, okay, I kind of get the deal. She walks in and meets the rest of the characters. And one of the artistic flares that's happening is during the entire thing, there's like a counter, right? So it's like 0 out of 23. And as the episode kind of progresses, the numbers go up. Like you'll go to 5 out of 23, 20, like it's obviously people dying in the death game, right? So that's kind of, again, what I'm talking about when I talk about like artistic flair stuff, right? That's kind of the kind of stuff I mean, is like there's definitely some interesting directorial choices here to kind of emphasize what's going on. And then we get introduced to kind of our other characters, and they have kind of a discussion about, oh, who are you? What's your name? Why are you here? Oh, I'm this is my first time. I'm here because I have to pay back some debt. Oh, this is like my second time, but like my first time was like 2 years ago. And I'm here because, working a normal job seemed kind of boring. It didn't really work out, so I'm kind of here. And our girl, she's done this 27 times. She's played 27 death games and survived 27 times. So she is kind of like an expert, and it kind of positions herself as sort of the leader of the group in a sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time is cautioning, hey, maybe I'm actually evil and want to kill you all so that I can win, or maybe I will help you all survive, so and so and so and so. And as the episode kind of progresses, and like I said, I won't spoil anything, but obviously people die, things happen, we get kind of to the end of the episode, and it's sort of revealed that our girl's goal is to complete 100 death games.
All right.
That is her mission. And she is going to do anything possible to accomplish that goal. And that is kind of where I want to leave the plot synopsis of it. Because again, I feel like if I kind of did like the play-by-play describing things that happen in the show, it would actually take away from the experience, right? I think it's one of those things where you do kind of need to go in sort of blind. You might see a clip here or there on Twitter or posted in Discord servers about it because people are talking about it, because again, I think it's going to be a polarizing show. Just due to the directorial nature of it. But yeah, I would say give it a watch, Ellie, and then talk about it with me next week.
Yeah.
So, because I do think that you would have, I'm interested to kind of see where you fall on that scale of thinking that it's pretentious dog shit versus, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. Because I think there's a scale here for this show. And I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm not gonna maybe do, again, I don't want to do play-by-plays, at least for this first episode, at least until you've watched it, right? Like I might get a bit more spoilery next week when you've watched it, and we can kind of talk about it a bit more. But it is, I feel like this is gonna be, it's either gonna be a sleeper hit because people are gonna be kind of polarized on it, or it is gonna be one of the standouts alongside Sentenced to be a Hero in the season. I've got that feeling about it. I noticed you added Chain Soldier into.
Yeah, I somehow I got all the new posters, and then I threw into old shows or into those posters. So there are more stuff back on this page as well, but I haven't put.
Okay, well,
I cannot see them.
So I can quickly I can quickly wrap up Chain Soldier, because that was a pretty easy one. It's continuing on. It's continuing on from what was happening kind of last season, where we've established there's these gods and we ought to kill the gods, and now we're getting introduced to all the heads of the different departments, different sectors, right? And they all have their own abilities and their own stuff, right? I will say, animation quality has kind of gone up a little bit since the last season. It's looking a little bit better. Maybe they got some more budget on it this time around. Maybe they got a little bit more people working on it. It's pretty good to see. I'd love to see it. We'll see if it keeps up. we'll see if it keeps up as the season progresses. But essentially, a slave soldier continuing on seems to be fine. There's a lesbian groping scene in it, so there's still as itchy as ever, which is good. I'll kind of just I'll update as we need to update on. Yeah. So I think the only thing that I haven't talked about on my end is Darwin. So I don't know if you've got anything else other than Darwin.
No, I am.
Just so I can have a break.
Unfortunately, Naretsu, the most I could talk about was the rom-com, and I skimmed out on my Hanakimi shoujo show. So,
all right, well then I'll finish us off with Darwin then.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie, you love terrorism.
I love terrorism. I would do it all the time.
I love terrorism. So this show is all about terrorism. Okay, so basically, essentially what's going down is you have this group of eco-terrorists, right?
Yeah.
That are invaded. They've kind of like armed, taken over a like biological research facility where they're doing like animal testing, right? It's typical Greenpeace kind of shit, You set with AK-47s. They're going in and they're, free all the animals, such and such, But in doing that, they find this like chimpanzee, and the chimpanzee is pregnant and stillbirth and dying, right?
Oh.
So they take it to like a vet, and it turns out that the chimpanzee has a hybrid human chimpanzee baby, right? Because the scientist guy did this thing where he like spliced his own DNA into the DNA of the chimp, and it's created a living, breathing like chimp human hybrid kind of guy. And you can see him in the picture. He looks kind of like a weird human chimpy hybrid type thing. So what's happening is you have the chimpanzee guy is kind of interesting as a character because he kind of feels both human and not human, which makes sense, right? But he's sort of feels like he's just kind of going with the flow a little bit and just sort of doing things based on how he wants to do things, because he's starting school. High school specifically, right? Or I think high school or college or something. He's starting something, right? And this is set in America, which is also kind of interesting. It's not set in Japan. It's specifically set in America. And so he's going to kind of this like high school, college, or whatever, and he's interacting with people, and people are interacting with him, and he meets this girl who's the main girl in the thing, who's kind of like a loner kind of girl, doesn't really interact with people. She tries to save a cat from a tree, but then the branch breaks, and Charlie here, like, he jumps in and saves her and the cat or whatever, and it's fine. There's like a bully kind of character who shows up, who's like asking, like, if there was a rodent that had a virus, and it's because Charlie is vegan because his parents are vegan. And so the guy's trying to be like, well, what if a rodent like had a virus? It was going to hit you, and the only thing you could do is kill it or be killed by the virus or whatever. Would you kill it? And Charlie's just like, yeah, I'd shoot the rat. I'd also shoot you too if it was you.
Good answer.
Yeah. It was very good. And everyone's kind of like, wait, what the fuck? And I think the angle they're going with is like Charlie is like not. He's like human, but not human, because he's like half and half, right? So he's like, why would he act like the way he would view a human the same way he would view a rat, right? Because and there's another scene where he like saves a butterfly from a spider, and he's like, yeah, I saved that butterfly, but I also took the food away from the spider or whatever. So it's getting a little bit into some little bit pretentious like philosophy, morals, or whatever.
Yeah.
And on the side of this, you have eco-terrorism. They just blew up a cafe or some shit, and they're all celebrating. Oh, yeah, we blew up the cafe. Fuck the humans. Collateral damage is good, Who cares? We need to free the animals. Humanity bad, so-and-so. And then it kind of ends with, oh, yeah, we need Charlie because Charlie's going to be key to our revolution or some dumb shit, right? And it's okay. I'm definitely interested in Hooked, right? It is interesting. But I'm wondering, like, how one note it's going to be, because right now it does feel a little bit like the eco-terrorists are just kind of being portrayed right now as just fucking psychopaths. Because it's like, oh yeah, we blew up this cafe and a bunch of innocent people died, and oh, maybe some innocent animals died in the explosion too, but it's okay because McGregor good, right, Ellie? Right, McGregor good. We're gonna something
Collectivism.
something. So yeah, something collective. No, well, something humanity bad. Something animals good, right? Like, it's like the straw man of like environmental activists, right? Like, if you made like a straw man of what environmental activism is. And look, I'm no fan of those fucking guys that glue themselves to paintings and, vandalize shit. Look, all I'm saying is maybe you guys should go and destroy a data center.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Maybe instead of destroying like works of art and just blocking roads and pissing everyone off, maybe you guys could go do something actually productive, like stopping AI, right? That could be good. That would be great. Just maybe like set off like a dye bomb inside a data center or something. I don't know. To do something that's not just being an obnoxious piece of shit. So I wonder if the show's gonna get into some nuance around this, or if it's gonna get a little bit fart sniffy, right? With morals are subjective, and who know what does it mean to have morals? And is Charlie gonna be a human or a chimp or both? Or right? And of course, I haven't read like the source material. I've heard about the source material being pretty good, right? So maybe it'll get better. But right now, it kind of feels to me like it's a little bit like they're taking stereotypes, right? And there's not really a lot of nuance going on in a show that probably needs that nuance, right? Of like how it's presenting these like factions, I guess. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm interested. I'll keep watching it, but I'm worried that it's not gonna have that, as much as like, I am biased against environmentalists because they're fucking annoying, right? And they're ineffective and don't actually fucking do anything. Even though I'm biased, I would like to see them portrayed at least honestly, right? And in their best light, if that makes sense. Even if they're terrorists, right? I want to see like, okay, what is the reasons behind this, right? What are we doing here, right? Why are you so anti-humanity, right? What is the philosophy that's driving this, right? What can we glean from this? Even if I disagree with it, I think it's important to present that nuance, right? But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep everyone updated and see if it goes well. But anyway, that's about it. I don't think
this
I've
is
got
your
else.
punishment for not watching anything last week.
Yeah, I have to talk about everything. Yeah, because I'm. yeah. So yeah. There's some, like I said, there's some pretty good stuff this season. The season's looking pretty packed.
And let's not forget the big hitters: Oshinoko, Freerun.
Freerun is coming out on Saturday.
Actual new episodes of Fate next week.
Yeah. So there's still some stuff coming out to talk about. Definitely, be interesting to kind of see how things go. But yeah. I guess that'll kind of do us for the cast then, unless there's anything else. I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now, because I wasn't horribly tired this week, next week I wouldn't be horribly tired for my office work either. So, I would this year, or at least this month, because it's trial period for a month. Although no indication why I should be get fired after a month right now. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So, just to say that for the coming time, I should be able to make every week, barring some family.
We will keep people updated on
This
on
might
what
be
we're
a
doing.
downside from it, so we need to have more videos every week.
Well, we've got quite a few in the queue, especially some longer ones that we could maybe look at chipping away at.
Yeah, I do have.
We'll have to go.
Real...
We'll have to go through and we'll have to go through and kind of do a bit of a look at what we've got.
Yeah, it would mean that you're wasting your current morning and I'll be wasting my upcoming morning on the video. Because I'll be sleeping and you'll be staying here until the midday sun approaches.
Yeah, well, it's like 2:00 now.
Oh dear.
But anyway, we will catch you all next time.
Later.
Bye.
There we go.